let's go. You guys had a great week. Let's go after it all the way now. Let's go. Everybody in it all the way. Let's go get a win.
Mike Riley getting them pumped up. It is the final game of Week 3 of the Alliance. The San Antonio Commanders visiting the San Diego Fleet, a rematch of the opener. Both teams coming in at 1-1, and with a win in this game, they will move into a tie for first place in the West. Remember, it's just a 10-week regular season, so a rematch in Week 3, not unheard of, although Marvin Lewis, former Cincinnati Bengals head coach, and Maurice Jones-Drew. Marvin, you know, not easy to beat a team twice in one season, is it?
No, very difficult, and we've already seen where it's been reversed already earlier yesterday.
The San Antonio Commanders beat the San Diego Fleet team in Week 1. They're going to be rolling out a couple of pretty good quarterbacks in this game, aren't they?
Yes, we have Logan Woodside, who will start quarterback again for the Commanders today. And then Marquise Williams will also come in and play some significant series in this football game.
Williams, of course, the quarterback at North Carolina that kept Mitchell Trubisky on the bench. Meanwhile, they're going to be throwing to a wide receiver by the name of DeMarcus Ayers. Didn't play Week 1, but stepped up big Week 2.
Yeah, DeMarcus Ayers missed Week 1, as you said. Came last week, had 5 catches, 80 yards, including this great one-handed catch you see right there.
The San Diego Fleet in this rematch, looking to get a win after putting up just 6 points in Week 1. They have a young man at quarterback named Philip Nelson, who came into the season, or during training camp, expected to be the third-string quarterback here, but things have changed.
Yeah, well, Coach Marks installed his whole offense, and it's that high-flying St. Louis Rams, throw it all over the yard, and you're going to struggle a little bit with that. Philip Nelson has struggled, but he's getting a better grasp of the offense, and I think tonight is going to be a night where you're going to kind of see him blossom, come out of that cocoon. But then it's the running game that's been the high-flying thing, the high-powered issue, and it's Jaquan Gardner, who's the guy that's got this thing going. Last week, 15 carries for 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looks like, you know, I went back and watched some old high school tape of myself out here with the 32, even though I wore 21. But it's always good to see that good things come in small packages. Now, he's averaging 6.9 yards a carry, Coach, and we all know that that's a beautiful thing in any system when you can run like that. That means you're getting a discount for that production.
Coach, how many people you know who go back and watch old tape of themselves besides Maurice Jones-Drew?
Yeah, well, you know, that's the way he is.
That's
though,
all right.
You know,
That's why we love him.
You're special.
That's why we love him.
I mean, Coach, he's 5'7", I'm 5'7", you know.
I get it. I see the similarities. You know what else I see? A game unlike last week here in San Diego where the weather is going to be spectacular. Last week, San Diego played in the rain and the muck. Not going to be the case here tonight at SDCCU Stadium. 60 degrees and perfect. And look at a couple of headlines from Week 3. Salt Lake capturing their first win. They're the only other team that played a rematch game here in Week 3. And how about Orlando staying perfect? Garrett Gilbert threw for almost 400 yards last week. Leads into another win over Memphis. And Trent Richardson, MJD. Trent Richardson is back.
Listen, anytime you can run the ball for 46 yards and get 3 touchdowns, it's a great day.
That's kind of day.
Yeah, he very excited after that game. A look at Mike Marks.
I got to get one of those jackets, guys.
Mike Marks, the former head coach of the St. Louis Rams, wearing that awesome starter gear that everybody is wearing around the league.
He might have to shorten the sleeves.
Oh,
I like Coach Riley's look there. You know, that's a ball coach there.
There you go, Mike Riley. Bought a house many, many years ago in San Antonio early in his coaching career. Held on to it since then. Now he's living in that house. Kind of a homecoming of sorts for Mike Riley and his San Antonio team. Remember, here in the Alliance, there are no kickoffs. The ball is spotted at the 25-yard line to start the game, and we're going to get a first look at Philip Nelson and this San Diego offense. Very well balanced. Mike Marks said this team can run the ball on anybody. Philip Nelson really can coach up. He loves the fact that he can coach him and he forgets a bad play and moves on. Kind of like a golfer after a missed putt or a bad shot.
Son! Lady! William!
Nelson going to the air on the first play of the game, looking deep up the left side. First throw, first interception of the game. Devontae Bowsby picks him off. Nice return out past the 50-yard line. Not the way the Fleet wanted to start.
Well, there, Philip Nelson tries to take a shot, and it's great coverage. You don't throw that ball there if you see the DB on top. Bosby's on top of the receiver, and it's just a bad throw, bad timing there.
Yeah, great job by the DB, though. We always talk about when the ball's in the air, you've got to become the receiver yourself. And Bosby does great position, goes up and plays the ball in the air.
And I was just seeing that he was throwing to Nelson Spruce. Nelson Spruce is not known for a deep threat. He's known to be that slot guy that can work in between the hashes.
Third interception of the season for Nelson. Now our first look at Logan Woodside and this San Antonio offense. They like to run the ball as well. Have three good running backs on this team. Fakes them. End around here. He's looking deep right off the bat. Has a man. Touchdown, San Antonio. First pass of the game. 47-yard score for Mikael McKay. My goodness, what a start.
MJD, here's those shots.
Coach, you talked about it all the time. First play off a turnover. You have to know that as a defense. You have to know the offense is going to try to take a shot. Play action pass here. You have a reverse. You have guys selling it hard, and then quarterback drops back, finds the post.
Yeah, if you say it, look at the defense there again. They catch the safety flat-footed, and Mikael McKay runs right by him for a touchdown there.
They call him Big Play McKay for no reason.
Ryan Moeller was the man here in the alliance. You have to go for two. Woodside to throw again. Over the middle. That pass is complete, and Josh Stewart calls it in. And as quick as you can count to 10, we already have 8 points on the board for San Antonio.
Hey, Dan, I think Logan Woodside heard us talk about the fact that Marquise may be coming into play today. He's having none of that.
Marquise Williams, the backup quarterback, played one series last week. Logan Woodside said, hey, it's a great quarterback room. It's a friendly competition. So far, so good for Logan Woodside. What a start.
Yeah, you know, I talked to Logan, gave me a little phone call back the other day. Got a chance to visit with him. And I really think there's an advantage that he's having, being a part of this, having a chance to game plan, etc.
Well, let's see what Philip Nelson and this Fleet team can do here. He mentioned his third interception of the season.
Red 80! Red 80!
They're going to keep it on the ground, up the middle. And Gardner might have picked up two.
I tell you what, this defense has been flying around now. They've given up a ton of yards, big plays throughout the air, but on the ground, they've been pretty stingy. And they can find ways to pressure the quarterback, leading the AAF with 10 sacks. So you have to lean on this run a little bit more, and I was really surprised to see Coach Marr take a shot on that first play.
Go!
2nd and 8.
Lady! Williams!
Again, it's going to be Gardner. Gardner puts his head down, out past the 30, and he picks up 4. Austin Larkin.
You know, the run there, MJD gets him a chance now of a third in a very manageable situation here. And that's what they did in the fourth quarter of the game last week in order to get it, to go ahead the lead and go ahead and win the football game going out versus Salt Lake.
So 3rd and 4 situation here.
Set! Lady! Williams!
Nelson Spruce starts in the backfield, moves into the slot. They look his way and can't hold on to it. Had it for a minute, then broken up right away. Looked like Nick Temple was the man that got a hand in there.
Well, guys, I love the call here. It's a great call, great ball by the quarterback, putting it right on Nelson Spruce's numbers. You have to catch that pass. I don't care who's on you. He's looking to run there instead of securing the first down and then trying to get yards after catch.
Well, no surprise they went to Spruce on 3rd down. All of his catches this season, Coach, have come on 3rd down.
Yeah, Coach Mars talked about it. Quarterback Philip Nelson talked about how great they were going to have a healthy Nelson Spruce today, and he's got to hold on to that football and convert the third down there.
First punt of the ball game, and perfectly content to let that roll out of bounds at the 24 are the Commanders. A 45-yard punt by Sam Irwin-Hill.
For all San Diego Fleet news, player photos, and videos, and behind-the-scenes content, follow us now on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I have an echo on my headphones.
Gardner puts his head down, out. Welcome back to San Diego. One of the great things about the Alliance, we have a couple of sky cams, and they are brought to you tonight by Wheels Up, a bird's eye view of the Commanders and the San Diego Fleet. The winner of this game moves into a first-place tie with the Arizona Hotshots in the West. Look at the Kentucky native, Logan Woodside, 7th-round draft pick of the Bengals.
Drafted in the 7th round, as you see there. Did a nice job in training camp for us.
For 6 yards, Kenneth Farrell.
With those.
2 catches, 64 yards so far for McKay.
Often throwing in these one-on-one isolation routes.
Or they lead the league in time of possession too, Coach. You're talking about running the ball, being efficient, converting on third downs. That's huge. Those big plays will come.
Commanders keeping on the ground. That's not going anywhere. Farrell smothered after a gain of 1 yard.
You know, when we talk about Logan, and I mentioned this, is his opportunity to be a part of this and have them build a game plan around him. This experience he's going to get is going to be invaluable when he gets his next opportunity to make an NFL squad.
Woodside can sling it now. Led college football, 45 touchdown passes in 2016 at Toledo. 2nd and 9 here. That ball tipped again at the line of scrimmage. The intended target, Josh Stewart.
Well, it seemed like Woodside there was trying to rush it. He saw it opened up, and it kind of sailed on him a little bit, Coach. You want to be able to get that ball down and in the chest. Those type of passes, you don't want them to be high, especially when the receiver is coming back to you. You want it in the numbers or lower so that he can cradle the ball and take care of the hit.
You're right. You want to put that ball in the numbers. Anyway, where's number 5? His hero, Bruce Gradkowski.
Really?
Yes.
Another Toledo quarterback.
Another Toledo quarterback.
Big 3rd and 9 here. San Antonio been converting at 56% on 3rd down. That's the best conversion rate in the league. Woodside over the middle, tipped and picked. Flag on the play. We'll see if this stands. It was Ryan Moeller on the interception.
Well, that Ryan Moeller has a nose for the football, doesn't he?
We call him Johnny on the spot. Every time the ball is tipped up in the air, it seems like he's coming down with it every time. Now, it may be coming back for a little holding, but still.
Did you get open?
But I think just like you said earlier, Logan's got to come through with these balls, put these balls on the number.
Defense, number 22.
You can't sail the ball down the middle of the field.
Automatic first down.
Penalty on Jordan Martin. Let's take a look here.
Again, you have guys coming around the middle of the field, and Logan just sells it. And in this situation, the tight end comes open. You got to put it on his numbers.
You got to see the pressure. He gets the pressure in his face late in the down. And again, step up and let go of the ball on time.
They did get saved by that penalty, so it's going to be first down at the 27. Woodside back to throw again, feels the pressure, dumps it off to the left side. Head down is David Cobb. That's going to go in the books as no gain. Cobb bounced around the NFL a little bit, had 52 carries for 146 yards with the Titans back in 2015. Also had stints with the Steelers and the Bears. Big running back out of the University of Minnesota.
Yeah, they brought him in to replace Lindell White to help out with Chris Johnson. It just didn't work out for him. But the guy who tackled him, John Lutalele, played with me in Jacksonville. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, story time from MJD. 2nd and 10 for San Antonio. Woodside completes the pass. That's going to be just short of the first down. Cole Hunt, the big tight end, hauls it in for a gain of 9.
It's really a nice job by Logan of getting rid of the football. They got the little Y-hide play on where the tight end's going to fake like he's blocking, block, and then sneak backside. But the pressure came in his face, and he had to get rid of it before he wanted to.
Yeah, you're going to get immediate pressure from the left side. and he feels it, and he's still throwing the ball falling back. Now, you can get away with that every now and then, Coach, but we know once you get to the big boys, you have to step into those throws.
Woodside, 5-6, 92 yards, and a touchdown pass so far. Keeping it on the ground on 3rd and 1, and they're going to be short. Travis Feeney, the first man there for San Diego.
Travis Feeney, linebacker out of Washington,
another guy running
ran
on the
a
field?
4.5 at the Combine, drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers because he can run. Now he's showcasing that he can play in the box because he's a guy that's known for covering.
Yeah, he had a really productive game last week in the game versus Salt Lake. And you see him stepping up and making a great stop there on 3rd down there.
At 4.5, the second best time of any linebacker at the Combine in 2016. Going for it on 4th and 1. Again, keeping it on the ground. Nifty footwork there. Kenneth Farrell breaks the tackle, gains for it, and most importantly, picks up the first down.
Good play, boy.
You love that, MJD.
Coach, as a running back, I mean, you talk about someone that's rejoicing back. You make 2 guys miss in the backfield. You have the safety come around blitzing. You shake him, and then the linebacker feels, and you break him off too. We call that a Kit Kat bar.
You know, as a coach, you know, you can draw it up, but at some point, somebody's got to make a play.
There goes one. Woo. I don't know what those linebackers and safeties were looking like.
Woodside going to throw into the end zone. Has a man caught. Touchdown, Greg Ward Jr.
Well, we got a little dance there, but I think this one might be coming back.
Oh, offense, number 7.
And you are exactly right, Coach. Penalty flag on the play.
You know, part of this offensive setup with the play action like we see, they get penetration up front there. And a nice job there, causes the hole, brings the play back.
Coach, you're getting immediate penetration here from Tani to Tupou. Yes.
Tupou does a nice job. You see him isolate the rip underneath, and it causes the hold.
Come on, G.
So touchdown comes off the board. Farrow again in the backfield. 1st and 20 for San Antonio. To the air, looking to the right side. And they want a flag, and they got one.
I don't know about this one, Dan. I mean, this is both sides now. Come on. Oh, they're going to call it on offense.
Pass interference, offense, number 84. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Well, the one thing about Greg Ward Jr. is that he played quarterback, and he's going to grab and pull him so that he can't get it. He knows how important it is to do whatever you can as a wide receiver, not to let the DB get the ball, Coach.
Okay. All right, I see you, Greg Ward. He's working at it.
You see Xavier Coleman, and somebody saw that, right? You got to throw a flag.
He was like, I'm trying to get some extra money over here now.
I feel you.
Here we go.
All right, Coach, what's the play call on 1st and 30?
Well, they're going to try and get some of this back. Let's carve out a little bit of this. Let's get back into manageable field goal distance, etc.
Almost had some of it back there, but bounced right off the chest of DeMarcus Ayers.
Yeah, DeMarcus got to come down with that. Now you can see him take his eyes off of him and begin to run before he actually caught the football there.
And drop passes have plagued San Antonio this season. 7 dropped passes. Only 2 teams have more in the Alliance.
That means they're 3rd, Dan, and that's not a good stat
No,
for an
it's
offense
not.
that's been efficient.
I was going to see how you guys were going to work that out.
Do you like how I did that?
I like how you guys
31
politically
single.
correct, both of y'all.
Yeah, we
31
got to make
single.
sure you do it right.
Here we go.
So Mike
42.
Riley's troops stared at 2nd and 30.
Bingo, set.
Pressure, just holds on to it and goes down. He's lucky he didn't cough that one up.
Now, the San Diego Fleet defense has played well this season. Defensive coordinator coach Larry Marmee has them playing hard, playing fast. They don't do a lot of things, but what they do very well. You see them get off the mark here, great pressure, and again, causing him to step up, coming off, making plays there.
Well, you know, the one thing that I've noticed watching all the games in the AF, the offensive linemen have struggled with the defensive line stunts, and you're going to start seeing more of those as the season goes on.
Galen Robinson, son of Glenn Big Dog Robinson, and Demontre Moore, the 2 men there on the sack. 3rd and 35. going backwards on this drive.
I like MJD make that call. You got the 30-35.
Ball tip, pressure coming again. It's a jump ball. San Diego has it. Great athletic play by Jordan Martin.
That's what we do.
Played at Toledo, then a grad transfer to Syracuse. Spent a cup of coffee with the Jets. Returns it 5 yards. Nice play by Martin.
That's a little call. That's what we call Toledo on Toledo crime there.
That is. Couple of picks. Touchdown already. What's coming up next? What's that pass coming again?
Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. I'll see you in there.
Just okay is not okay, especially when it comes to your network. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's biggest test. Now with 5G Evolution, the first step to 5G. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Home Team Highlights brought to you by At Home, the home decor superstore. And this was Philip Nelson last week. This went viral, this play. Threw it up and over his head, completed the pass. He told us he thought he was throwing this out of bounds. He never thought it would be a completed pass, Coach.
I like when you asked him what Coach Martz said to him in the meeting.
Yeah, Martz was none too pleased at all as we see a 13-yard gain there. And that happens quickly from Terrell Watson. This is a guy that you are familiar with, Marvin.
Yeah. We had Terrell Watson. We signed in Cincinnati. We had him on our roster for about a year and a half. He left us. He went to Cleveland, then ended up in Pittsburgh. So he made the tour in the AFC North.
That he did. This is a guy that moves the pile, according to Coach Martz. Good compliment for Gardner in the backfield. And again, this is going to be Watson turning the corner, picking up 7.
And this is how they ran the football in the fourth quarter last week against Salt Lake. They got going. They started running the football downhill. Both backs had really productive days.
Well, this is how you settle your quarterback down as well. Just get some run going, get the defense, what we call force a coverage. Force them to come out and show what they're going to be in, which will probably be cover 3 or cover 1 and loaded box. And then that is going to open up the passing game for your young quarterback that struggled a little bit to start this game.
Third best running game in the AAF through 2 weeks, averaging 5.5 yards per carry. This time they're going to go to the air. Nelson hanging in the pocket, goes up top, has a man, that pass complete. Liquivante Gonzalez, pretty pass from Nelson, picks up 43 yards.
And Coach, so we saw that with the running game. You force the defense to come down and get into a cover 3. You're allowed, with that cover 3, you see a receiver, Gonzalez, get behind him and make a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch.
Did a nice job of locating the ball away from the safety, so it's either his player or nobody was going to make a play on the football.
First catch of the season for Gonzalez. Been a couple of years at Texas A&M and then transferred to Kansas. And that's the first completion of the game for Nelson, as well as Watson with another chunk play, picks up 7 on that run.
You use Watson to wear down the defense. Those linebackers have to tackle this young man who weighs 244 pounds, and you keep doing that, and then you hit him with the lightning. You have the thunder and the lightning that we always talk about, the lightning being Gardner. Keep wearing down the defense, and you'll be able to break some big runs later in the game.
Martz told us he feels like his team can run on anybody. They favor the left side of the offensive line behind Damian Poole, Terry Poole, and Damian Mama. This time they go to the right side and pick up the first down on 2nd and 4.
Terrell Watson, again, running well behind his pads. And you know what? He is going to be this strong in the fourth quarter as well. So they're doing it right now in the first quarter. T. Watts will be doing it again in the fourth.
They're just running. They're just saying, look, we're going to line up and just run down your throat. We're not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to run inside zone, right down your throat, and force your guys to tackle.
Well, they're running off those double-team blocks and the isolation blocks on the inside.
Timeout. San Diego, their first charge timeout of the half.
One of the things Coach Martz told us is they're having a little bit of problem with the communicator.
And there is a look at Coach Martz. We're going to take a break here momentarily. Back after this.
You really want this place, don't you?
I do.
This house is yours now.
He's such a sweetheart. Charlie is outside cutting the grass. That should be gone by now.
Something is really off with that guy.
Honey, he's lonely.
You know, Charlie's wife died in that house.
You think that's blood?
He wants some company. This guy is dangerous. I haven't lost everything. I have a chance to get it all back.
The Intruder, rated PG-13, May 3rd.
All month long, the Alliance is spearheading Touchdown for Team Rubicon. For every touchdown scored in every game in February, the Alliance will donate $1,000 to Team Rubicon, a veteran-led nonprofit that helps communities recover after a natural disaster. Find out more and join the effort at aaf.com/donate. You think Coach Martz likes to throw a little bit, Marvin?
Well, you can see him evening out in week 2 versus Atlanta.
Well, he knows the talent he has in the backfield. They're going to go to the air this time, and it is indeed complete. Ben Johnson going to be a yard shy of the first down.
We call that a running play when I was in Jacksonville. Any type of play action or short pass, it's an extension of the running game. And here, again, trying to get your quarterback back in rhythm, you fake the little handoff to the running back. You have your fullback or H-back fly out to the flat. There's no one there. Get him in rhythm and get things going.
The other thing it does, great easy protection. Everybody's turning back in the protection, so you don't have to worry about any pressure.
Keeping it on the ground on 2nd and 3. That's Watson again, and he picks up another first down. He's a first down machine. How did he not last in Cincinnati, Marvin?
Well, you know, he actually had a great camp for us. He was on our practice squad, and then he chose to go to another club after the next year.
Are you upset with him, Coach?
I was upset. You know, we're the one that loves you.
Yeah, he was trying to play, though. You had him practicing.
Earn your spot,
You know what they say, Coach? Show me the money.
No.
If you love me, show me the money.
Or the playing time.
Or the playing time. That practice squad money, not quite the same. 1st and goal for San Diego, rolling out to his right. Looking at the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Nelson Spruce.
And guys, this is what Nelson Spruce can do. He is a route runner. He sells the inside as if he's going to the post or to the back end line going to your left. And then he just whips it back out to the right, and there you are, one-on-one with the safety. I'll take that any day.
First touchdown of the season for Spruce. Coach Martz told us that he was one of the better wide receivers he's ever coached. We both kind of raised our eyebrows a little bit, so much so that I called Jeff Fisher and said, Coach, tell me about Nelson Spruce. He said, we had a 5th or 6th round grade on him. For some reason, we didn't draft him. Things didn't just fall that way, so we signed him as a free agent, and then he was injured. He thought had he not been injured, the Rams would have held on to him, and perhaps they never draft Cooper Kupp. Could have been a different story. Going for 2. Again, looking to the right side. And that one going to fall incomplete. He was looking for the tight end, Gavin Escobar.
Yeah, you know, Gavin Escobar, one of the best things he does is be able to go up and get the football. And a nice job by the Commanders there in coverage and preventing him from squeaking that ball in there. A really tight window to get it in there.
Well, I love the call there, though.
Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, and the next generation of NFL stars ready to make a name for themselves at this year's NFL Scouting Combine. And NFL Network going to be there live the whole way through. Complete coverage starts Friday at 9, only right here on NFL Network. MJD, you going to be there?
I'll be there on Friday.
Excellent. A look at the Commanders. And when they were drafted, 8 total players drafted. 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th and 7th rounds. 80% of the players in the Alliance have some type of NFL experience, as we see Marquise Williams, the North Carolina standout, in at quarterback for the first time tonight. Played 1 series last week against Orlando. Coach Riley said he wanted to play him more, told us we would absolutely see him tonight. He's going to keep it. This is what he does best, a dual threat quarterback, and he picks up the first down on his first play of the game.
Well, the last week when he came in, that's what he did well. Okay, they're going to run the read option here. He's just going to read this player here. He dives down, he's going to pull and go. But anytime, coach, you know this is a defensive coach, when you have a mobile quarterback, that just puts more stress on the defense.
Yeah, all your rules have to change. Everybody has to now get ready to play very disciplined responsibility football. And on that play, the Fleet really didn't execute their defense the way they want.
Look at the numbers from last week. 3 carries for 32 yards against Orlando. This guy in the handoff to Farrow, taken down just short of the line of scrimmage. First man on the tackle. Eric Pinkins, Andrew Stelter is there as well.
That looked like miscommunication to me, guys. You have your offensive line pass blocking, and then you're trying to run the ball as well. No one was going forward on your front, and you can't get yards with that.
Well, these are the key elements here. It's 2nd and 10 now, and if Marquise is going to continue to play quarterback, he's going to have to complete some throws.
2nd and 10 for Williams. On the play action, dumps it off short to Farrow. Farrow taken down right away. That's going to be a loss of 5. A.J. Tarpley, the man making the tackle. They love him at middle linebacker in San Diego.
Yeah, Coach Marmie spoke really highly about A.J. Tarpley. Smart, communicator, runs the defense. Him and Galen Robinson about the guys that bring the energy each and every day to his defensive group. There's a good look at Coach Marmie there now. That's one of the best coaches for. Used to go listen to him at coaching clinics.
Coach, you're excited. I love it.
I can't tell you, Coach, how much I enjoy listening to you talk to these other coaches. I'm just like a fly on the wall. Thoroughly entertaining. 3rd and 15 here for Williams. Pass is complete, but that's not going to be enough for the first down. Evan Rodriguez hauls it in, picks up 8.
Well, now that we see this, it's important for San Antonio to be in front of the chains and ahead of the chains when Marquise is in, because again, 3rd and 15 is not suitable for many quarterbacks, but for a guy that likes to run, and that's what we've seen the last couple times he's been in, it's not conducive to him being successful.
Yeah. That's not what they're trying, the situation they want to put him in. They want to put pressure on the defense with making them play 11-on-11 football.
Joseph Zima get a punt. Ron Brooks back deep to return. And 30-year-old Brooks, the oldest member of this team, and that bounces out of bounds. And San Diego will take over at the 26-yard line with the exciting new features in the Alliance. It's the first season of the fresh new look uniforms that we've already talked about that is provided by Starter and New Era. I love the gear.
Coaches look good in them too, Dan.
Well, according to you, Coach, coaches look good in everything. But they look better in the starter gear.
Coaches.
Yes. Certain coaches. I'm going to have to give me this bomber jacket, this one right here, and all the team's things. I mean, that's basketball, Coach.
There it is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
strong.
Here we go. That's what I'm talking about right there. Let me go. Someone just send that to us.
You're already asking for free gear. We're not even on the first quarter yet.
It's 3rd week, though.
Good point. Plenty of time for Nelson. And that's Escobar, the big tight end, 2nd-round pick from the Cowboys in 2013, picks up 13.
Well, I love what Gavin Escobar did there. He kept running through the zone and found a way to get open for his quarterback.
As time winds down in the first, it's a 2-point ball game here in San Diego. Excitement reigns supreme early on.
The Run Rich Run movement is back. For more information, go to NFL.com/runrichrun. Run the 40. Make a donation and a difference in the lives of St. Jude kids. And tune in to the Scouting Combine on NFL Network.
When you're born, you're put in a box. And there's something very comforting about the box. It's familiar, simple, safe. For a good long while, the box is all you know. But things change. And so does the box. What was once comfortable now feels colorless. It's life at right angles. But you are not bound by the box. You are not confined to a square. You are most certainly not cornered. Because imagination doesn't run in straight lines. It colors outside them. It doesn't follow convention. It defies it. Imagination is not linear. It is limitless. When you arrive in this world, you're put in a box. And when you leave, you're put in another. So the question is, what are you going to do in between? TimberTech Decking. Go against the grain at timbertech.com.
It's a tight game in San Diego. The Commanders up on the Fleet, 2 points. We are coming to you in the Alliance All Access studio. We're watching the game along with you. 1 quarter played so far. And Rod Woodson, what sticks out to you so far?
You know, it's a great football game. It's a balanced attack. You know, and you look at San Antonio. Logan Woodside he's 5 for 8 for 92, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then you look at the San Diego Fleet. You had Terrell Watson. He has 5 rushes for 39 yards. And, I mean, he's running the ball extremely well, but the quarterback is playing well, too. So, Philip Nelson, he's 4 for 6 for 67 yards, 1 TD and 1 interception. It's going to be the team that can take their dominance and their will and oppose the other team. They're going to take control of this football game.
Mike Martz keeping the Commanders on their toes as we send you back to the second quarter of this game. Dan Hele, Maurice Jones-Drew, and Marvin Lewis, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Alex. Second quarter about to get underway. Look at the first quarter numbers, and for the most part, pretty even outside of time of possession.
Yeah, I think they've done it either, both different ways, with the Commanders coming out kind of throwing the ball more and San Diego coming out rushing the football.
We'll see what San Diego decides to do here. Remember, this offense only put up 6 points the entire game week 1 against San Antonio. They've already hit that mark so far here as we begin the second. Going to keep it on the ground, plenty of room to run, and I would not want to be trying to tackle Terrell Watson as he picks up another sack.
Well, Dan, someone's going to have to, because we can't let this big fella get this type of steam going forward and run into our defenders, let alone, and that's a linebacker he ran over. I would be terrified if that was a safety. 245 pounds, Coach,
Terrell
running
is a
downhill
linebacker.
like that?
He is a linebacker.
I don't know what that.
That's where I told him he'd be a great linebacker.
You're always trying to convert us to defense,
trying to convert him, yep. I'll take the athletes.
Lady! Way up!
This time they fake the handoff. Nelson going over the middle. Caught by Nelson. Spruce takes the hit and hangs on.
When I was with the Rams and Nelson Spruce was there, this is what he did really well. They're just going to run a post and a deep end, Coach. We call that dagger. And it's tough for teams to cover that when you're running the ball. Nelson Spruce gets right behind the defense, catches the ball, gets contacted. This is what he does well, those in-between intermediate routes.
All right, you saw the safety take the first inside break and get himself out of position there.
Lady! Way up!
Throwing again. This time he's wrapped up, not going anywhere. Tyrone Holmes takes him down for a loss of 7.
Now, this is where I was told by the great offensive coordinator now of the Kansas City Chiefs, but he was my running back coach in college, Eric Bieniemy. He said one word to me as a freshman in college, Coach. You know what that was?
Protect the quarterback.
If you can't block, you can't play. Very simple. And that's a play there. As a running back, you have to get in there and fit up on the linebacker that's rushing off the edge, because your quarterback is trusting that you're going to supposed to be there.
Still trying to figure out how if you can't block, you can't play is one word.
It's one term.
Running back.
I got it, Coach. 2nd and 15. Nelson, 3 men there in coverage. That sails out of bounds, probably just as well.
I think one of the things we're seeing from the Commanders is a change-up of their base defense from a 3-4 structure to the 4-3 look that time. And again, it puts pressure on these offensive linemen and the quarterback to identify, what the front is each and every time to get the protection correct.
Communication is key. And if the running back doesn't know where to go or who he's blocking, you're going to get hit every time as a quarterback. So your main investment is let the guy behind you know what you're doing.
3rd and 15 here, man.
Nelson with time, pumps once, chased out of bounds, and not going to pick up the first down. That was good pursuit by Arthur Miley, the big defensive end out of Southern U.
And this Commanders defense did a nice job against Orlando last week and then just kind of fell apart in the fourth quarter. They employed 7 DBs most of the game so they could have good matchups athletically last week against Orlando in these passing situations.
The one positive from Philip Nelson is that he didn't try to force the ball. We saw Logan Whiteside do it as well, and it didn't work well for him. So don't force the ball in the middle. Take the sack and go on about your day.
Irwin Hill punting from the 50, and that sails into the end zone. A 40-yard punt for Irwin Hill. We're back right after this.
We got a saying here. If the brakes don't stop it, something will. It is around here. I wrote it.
Just okay is not okay, especially when it comes to your network. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's biggest test. Now with 5G Evolution, the first step to 5G. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Look at that San Antonio huddle from our Skycam, brought to you tonight by Wheels Up. And in case you haven't noticed, we do have the quarterbacks on both teams mic'd up. Great natural sound here in the Alliance. One of many cool new gadgets that we have here.
Dan and Maurice, I think this is a big drive here for the San Antonio Commanders offense here. You know, they had the early strike on the turnover and they hit the big play right away, but since then, they've really been pretty stagnant on offense.
And
Here we go,
once
here we
again, Logan Woodside back in the game.
Bingo, shot!
Keeping it on the ground over the left side. David Cobb goes for 2. How does this quarterback rotation work? Is it hard for one guy to get in the groove when you make those substitutions and you have a 2-quarterback system?
You're asking me as the coach. I really believe it is hard. I think the people need to know who the quarterback is. Let's let him play, let him settle in. I think what they're doing to mix it in gives them a little bit of a change-up, and that's what it looks like Coach Riley wants to do.
Woodside throwing on 2nd and 9, zips it in there, complete pass. Mikhail McKay picks up 5.
Coach, that was our RPO. We haven't seen that much from the Commanders doing that, but there he puts Logan Woodside puts the ball in the belly of David Cobb, and he sees the defense commit, pulls it out, and throws a quick hitch to a receiver outside. Good ball, moves the chain, gets you closer to moving those chains.
McKay came into week 3 as the 6th leading receiver in the Alliance, averaging 16.6 yards per catch. His numbers certainly bolstered by his performance here so far. 3 catches, 70 yards.
Hey, here we go! Bingo, shot!
Flags flying here on 3rd and 3.
Yeah, you know, they get down in the play clock, and so Logan's trying to hurry him up. And then
San Antonio,
getting the
their first charge, timeout at half. It will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, again, another one of the difference from the National Football League is the play clock. 35 seconds keeps things moving.
11:02.
It does. It keeps it moving. That 5 seconds is significant.
And I think it helps the development of the quarterback as well, because you always have to keep your eye on that play clock.
That's a great point, Maurice. It's one of the reasons we don't see lengthy touchdown celebrations in the Alliance. You got to get right back out there to go for 2.
We can definitely get him.
I don't know if you can, hear the quarterback there, but the other thing quarterback has to do, he has to be able to change up the snap. He has to change up the cadence. When the defense begins to jump your cadence on 3rd downs, the quarterback has got to do it, but the offense has to have the discipline to sit in there and not have a false start penalty.
The cadence is a weapon. You want to kind of lull the defense to sleep and then catch them off guard 2 or 3 times a game.
Get him with that hard count, Maurice.
You see DeMontre Moore there, who's been the best pass rusher on the San Diego Fleet team here, and this is a critical situation for him.
Hey, here we go. Hey, 53!
Flags flying again.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Mo Porter.
just gets a little excited out of there. I guess he must have thought he heard the call there, Coach.
Well, they had both defensive ends, both Alex Barrett and Trey Moore on the same side, so he knew he was getting the business.
Is that how you call it, getting the business?
He was a little nervous over there,
he got
huh?
a little nervous.
So now looking at 3rd and 8, it's Cobb alongside Woodside in the backfield. Picked off over the middle. This is going to be a pick 6. In for the touchdown is A.J. Tarpley. 28-yard interception return for the middle linebacker out of Stanford.
So many times we talk about the athleticism, and athleticism is a big part of football and being fast, but also being smart as well. All Tarpley does here is just reads the quarterback's eyes and undercuts the route. Real simple. He's reading him the whole way. He's there, jumps the route. Great job catching the ball, because we know defenders can't catch all the time.
Well, the whole thing starts. We have to take a timeout because we don't get the play call. Then we get a procedure penalty that backs us up. So again, we go in reverse on offense here. After having a productive start, we go back in reverse now.
A.J. Tarpley, an interesting story, retired at a very young age, played 15 games with the Bills in 2015, and after a 3-year layoff, he's back because he missed it stepping away from a job on Wall Street. Going for 2, keeping it on the ground, trying to muscle his way in is Terrell Watson.
I think he got in.
And indeed, he did.
Let's go, let's go.
That's what we call a man's run there, because you got to run through some people and drag some
carried
people
some
there.
folks into the end zone there, MJD.
Coach, how'd y'all cut him again? I'm just trying to figure it out.
Wow.
Was it a
you
numbers
just not gonna
game?
Let that go.
Was it a numbers game?
You sound like a player there, but it's always the numbers. It's always the numbers. Not a lack of your numbers.
More of the Marvin and Marie show coming up after this.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Look at A.J. Tarpley, the middle linebacker, with his first interception and his first interception return for a touchdown of the season. Put San Diego up 14-8. Remember, they only scored 6 points in week 1 against this very same San Antonio Commander team. Woodside going to the air on first down. To the left sideline, hauled in right away. Kendall James there in coverage as DeMarcus Ayers makes the grab.
Yeah, you know, DeMarcus Ayers really had a productive game as we highlighted before in our opening in week 1, and we're going to need him to step up and make some plays here today now.
DeMarcus Ayers, the 7th round draft pick for the Steelers in 2016. Had a great one-handed grab last week that we showed you in the open. 2nd and 2 here, going to keep it on the ground. And that's going to be very close to a first down. It is a first down after a 4-yard gain.
Guys, I want to go back to the first play. I really like the attitude to come out throwing again after you throw a pick 6 with your quarterback, just to show that you have confidence in him, so that Logan Woodside doesn't feel like everyone's, kind of looking at him like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it kind of gets a bad taste out of his mouth, gets him going back in rhythm again right away.
Woodside came into the game with 3 interceptions, 2 already tonight here in San Diego. Two wide receivers to the right for Woodside. Goes to the left, unable to hold on to Greg Ward.
Maurice, you talked about it in the last series with the RPO, and you see Logan with his eyes intent on the defense and then having to reset his feet in order to throw it to the outside there, and he throws a little high.
Well, it's a lot of ball handling for the quarterback. You have to put it in the running back's stomach, read the defense, pull it out, and then try to throw a ball. That's why he's a little inaccurate right now, Coach.
Going over to his left, get his hips back open and get it out there.
Outside left. Bingo, set.
2nd down from the 35. This is Cobb. He picks up 3.
After that first long pass from the San Antonio team, this defense from San Diego, the Fleet, they've done a great job of just limiting big plays. They're stopping the run. They're forcing Logan Woodside to throw the ball into tight coverage, and that's why they're getting interception. That's why they're doing a really good job. And Coach, like you said, it's the D coordinator is doing a phenomenal job of getting these guys to play fast.
Yeah, the biggest thing is he said we have to play better on third down, and here we are, 3rd and 7.
Bingo, shot.
Unable to connect on 3rd down. Looking for DeMarcus Ayers.
Ron Brooks with a great job undercutting the route there and really causing the inaccurate throw.
You're going to have receivers cross. You see it's man-to-man. Really good play call here. You got guys crossing the formation. Ayers does a good job of getting off, but as soon as Brooks understands and reads the route, he undercuts, and that's what a veteran does and forces a tougher throw for the young quarterback.
Yeah, you know, Ron Brooks has been in the NFL back and forth quite a bit. You know, he's played for a number of different teams, and he showed his experience there on that particular 3rd down.
Zima going to be punting from his own 29-yard line. Fair catch called for at the 15. In conjunction with Navy Federal Credit Union, the Alliance is proud to be staging a military seat upgrade program where families each week are able to upgrade their seats on game day in recognition of their service. Speaking of upgrading seats, Eric Allen, the San Diego native, 6-time Pro Bowl defensive back. He's the DB coach for San Diego. His wife is fully on board, Lynn. She bought season tickets for the Fleet and then talked to the rest of the family and said, y'all better buy some tickets too. So there are at least 30 members of Eric Allen's family at the game.
As there should be. Yeah. You guys support.
I'm impressed with the family support.
If my family didn't support, we'd have a problem at dinner.
Fleet keep it on the ground. Gardner picks up 7. Man, when you look at him out on the field compared to everybody else,
don't do that, Dan.
What does it feel like when you're down there, JD?
You feel like a man out there because you're doing things that other adults can't do. And you know what? They got a lot of Watson early, that thunder. Now it's time to hit him with a little lightning and get the long run here.
Ben Johnson in at fullback in front of Gardner. Again, the give to Gardner, but there were 4 commanders there. Nick Temple, one of them. No gain for Gardner.
A little thunderclap there on the Lightning.
It was a lot. It was a little hitting over there, Coach. Sometimes, you know, as a smaller back, bigger offensive linemen help, and I think that's what Coach Marks was talking about on our call, that this offensive line does a good job there. Just a little misidentification of the linebacker, and he shoots the gap.
And this linebacker crew of the Commanders is really good scout players.
3rd and 3. Nelson with time squeezes it in there, and they're going to pick up the first down. Nice grab by Escobar to pick up the first down while he was really covered well.
They're featuring these tight ends, and Escobar here is just going to run a drag route. Really good job of forcing the linebacker to have to run with you. You do what we call a stair step, stick them up a little bit to create a little bit more separation and catch the ball with your body and be strong when you catch the ball, Coach.
Nice job beating man-to-man coverage there, MJD. I mean, great job by Gavin Escobar making that play.
Nelson throws again on first down, flags flying. Have to wait and see what that is, but that was enough to pick up the first down for Escobar.
You know, while they're sorting out this penalty, you know, in our call, speaking with Coach Martz, you know, I kind of liken Philip Nelson to Steve Berline, one of the great quarterbacks in the past that I had to coach against, because I always thought he was very accurate with the throw, and when he didn't have it, he was able to run for the first.
Number 56, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
But Coach Martz, he corrected. He says, you know, I thought it was an early Trent Green or Kurt Warner. That's what he said, Dan. You remember that, MJD?
That he did.
He did.
That unsportsmanlike conduct call on Danny Ezechukwu. (14-8) here with just over 6.5 to go in the first half. San Diego trying to add to their lead. They're going to keep it on the ground here with Gardner. And that should have been no gain, but it's going to go on the books as a 1-yard gain, as Winston Craig was one of the commanders there to slow him down.
This 3-4 defense, when you run it, all they're trying to do is create a wall and not allow the offensive linemen to move up to backers, and that's what you saw there as Gardner's trying to pick a hole and jump in and out between the offensive linemen. There's nowhere to go, so he has to try to bounce it outside, and we talk about it, Coach, all the time. Having an edge to your defense, that's what you don't want to run as a running back.
Well, this team has been great against the run in the first 2 weeks, only giving up 82 yards rushing.
2nd and 9 from the 45. Nelson hits his own lineman, decides to tuck it and run, slides down to the 40.
And I really feel like getting bumped into his own lineman kind of threw him off a little bit because he was ready to throw the ball. But you see, he says it there. I just got bumped, and it kind of threw him off when he took off. But that's maturity as a quarterback. A lot of young quarterbacks, they'll still try to force the ball down the field after you get hit or get taken off your read.
Here's a good look at it on the replay, and that's what it said. I got to step up and through. But what he does, though, is he now makes it it's 3rd and 6. Rather than being 3rd and 10, 12, whatever it could have been, it's now 3rd and 6.
Set.
Quick pass over the middle. That's complete. Good for the first down.
Well, this is really good football here. You got to like this now. It's great recognition by Philip Nelson, getting the ball out, uncovered receiver, get him the ball, let him get the first down.
Well, what kind of defense? What are you doing here when you're allowing this much space on 3rd and 6 between a receiver and a DB? Just takes a quick one-step slant, catches the ball, and gets the first down.
Well, you can see they're trying to play some kind of man-hole coverage there. And again, like you said, you just want the defender up a little tighter to press him into the extra defender.
Give yourself a chance.
Dantes Ford's first catch of the game, 5th catch of the season. This time the toss out to Gardner, dragged down right away by Joel Lanning. Joel Lanning, the former quarterback at Iowa State, turned linebacker, became a first-team All-American after starting at quarterback at linebacker, Coach.
Well, there's a history of some guys like that. They understand football,
And listen, this is the one thing. You can make plays when no one tries to block you either there. I mean, again, this offensive line doesn't get to him. Great job of shooting the gap and getting his hands on the running back. But you had a situation there. If they would have got a body on him, that could have been a long run.
Apparently running backs don't like to give any credit to defensive players.
Never.
2nd and 10. Nelson over the middle. Again, it's complete. And again, it's Nelson Spruce picking up 11. He's a first down machine.
Nelson to Nelson.
Well, Nelson Spruce, again, he's your Wes Welker type of a guy that can catch these 5-yard routes, these 15-yard routes, and take them the distance. There, he just does a good job of recognizing his zone, coming back to his quarterback, catching and making one guy miss, and getting up the field.
Nelson Spruce, though, he's 6'1", so, he's got some stature to him as well. So this is a big target on the inside of the football field, and they're doing a great job with him. And you can see why Coach Martz and Philip Nelson were so excited about him.
10th play of the drive coming up here. Nelson rolling out to his right. Another complete pass for Nelson. They are now in the red zone after that 5-yard gain for Marcus Bach.
Coach, are you hearing what Dan's talking about? Completion.
Well, right now you got Philip Nelson 10 of 13, so I hear what you're saying.
Getting in a rhythm, and when he's in rhythm, he's going to be tough to beat in the 4th quarter.
They came out in the 1st quarter, they were handing the ball off, and now they're basically throwing these passes as though they're runs.
Set.
Timeout San Diego on 2nd and 5. Correction, that was Brian Brown making the last catch.
30-second timeout.
30-second timeout for San Diego. We're back after this.
For the first time in the history of pro sports, here's the app as fast as every player in the game. The Alliance app delivers revolutionary technology, real-time play-by-play gaming, instant interactivity. Truly a game changer. Get the Alliance app today. Live predictive gaming at full speed. Call the plays. Unprecedented and at your fingertips. Available on the App Store and Google Play.
That app, number one in both the Google and Apple stores. If you download it now, all sorts of Easter eggs hidden inside. See what you can find and enjoy. All about fun here in the AAF, and it would be a lot of fun for San Diego if they can find the end zone again here in the first half.
Well, they're doing a good job of moving down the field, being methodical, running the ball, short passes, taking their shots when they want to. But when you get in the red zone, it's about being accurate with the ball and making sure you're putting it on the receiver's body.
They're going to come up with a 2-minute warning here. I would expect some kind of play keeps the clock moving here.
Nelson going to the end zone, has
a touchdown.
Open. Nelson Spruce again. He's everywhere. His second touchdown of the game.
Seems like Coach Marks knows what he's talking about, right? Is this not the best receiver he's ever had?
He gave us a great look into the future.
Nelson Spruce just runs a post. You have a corner. Everybody falls off on the tight end. You leave the post wide open.
Middle. I think the exact words from Mike Martz were, he's one of the better receivers I've ever coached. He would have started. He ticked off every team where he was a coach besides the Rams and says he would have started at any of those places. Understandable why he wouldn't have started for the greatest show on turf, by the way.
He has some Hall of Famers on that one, huh?
Keeping it on the ground, diving into the end zone is Terrell Watson.
Oh, that's a nice run by Terrell there, boy. Really a great run.
That's old school. I'm going to give you that play call here. We called it deuce right, 12 zone. All it is the inside zone to the right. Everybody's going to wash down. You're going to be one-on-one with the safety backside. And if you can't beat a safety coach, you can't play running back. And great job there by dragging him in the end zone.
You saw on the replay how he rode the wave.
Yes.
He rode the wave and let it fall all the way back. In San Diego, they ride the wave.
Do they?
They ride the wave.
Okay. All right.
If I'm an NFL general manager and I'm watching this game,
are you wondering why Marvin cut him too?
That's not exactly where I was going, but I'm thinking that, you know what? He could be a good running back somewhere. We talked about some of the great wide receivers coached by Mike Martz, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce among them, as was Calvin Johnson, as this pass is out and complete. Remember, things move quickly in the AAF. A gain of 5 as we are down to the 2-minute warning, 22-8 with 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
Met in Texas, then they moved to Washington. They had me at Fort Knox. They keep all the gold there. After that, we moved to Georgia for a couple years. Then we spent some time in Korea. Seaweed snack. Ew. And now we live here for good.
Our members call many places home.
Oh, lots of questions.
So we made owning a home easier. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
In an era of online retail where everything is just a few clicks away, buying a car should be no different. That's why at Carvana, you can buy a car 100% online. We made it easy to browse, view, and buy from over 10,000 cars. You can even trade in your old car, all while binge watching your favorite TV show. Afterwards, we'll deliver your car to you. Or you can pick it up from one of our car vending machines. Either way, your car comes with a 7-day return policy. So grab a seat, relax in your comfy pants, and enjoy the new way to buy a car at Carvana.
Stay tuned for the Alliance All Access Halftime Report with Alex Flanagan, Rod Woodson, Sean O'Hara, and Cynthia Freeland. They're going to have first half analysis. We'll talk a little bit about Trent Richardson, the touchdown maker. 3 more touchdowns today for the former first-round draft pick.
As they called MJD the touchdown maker.
Coach, I appreciate that.
There's a reason that MJD made 3 Pro Bowls.
I know. I was part of one of those at least.
Partially responsible. 2nd and 5 for San Antonio. They swing it out to the left side. A first down and more.
I like that. See, he didn't just run out of bounds.
Coach, he's trying to finish.
Trey Williams.
Listen, for running backs, it's a mindset. It's an attitude. And we talk about this all the time back in the green room. You want to, let the defense know I'm here, and I'm here for real. And that's what he's trying to do there, making sure guys are prepared because he's going to run through you and keep getting yards.
He also has been inactive, so he's getting his chance
42.
to play. Maurice.
Bingo, shot.
Thrown again from the 39-yard line.
Yeah, you saw great pressure off the left side of the defense, the offensive right side there. Defensive end there, number 94 again, Trey Moore. Nice job.
The tackle doesn't get enough set. He doesn't kick back enough to get. He just gives open the edge, and you got pressure on both sides. The quarterback's going to have to step up or try to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, he has to. Trey Moore, again, doing a great job. And has been consistent for this Fleet defense in the 3 football games this season already.
He's been spectacular. Leads the team in tackles and sacks and quarterback hits. Demontre Moore has 55 games of NFL experience.
You see Logan doing a little extra work in there.
As a man on the left side, but unable to connect with McKay. Looking at 3rd and 10 coming up. Things have not gone well for San Antonio on 3rd down. They have yet to convert 0 for 5 so far here in the first half.
But you know what? In the AAF, they're the highest rated 3rd down team converting 3rd down. So that's unique, and that's surprising in this game that they haven't been able to do that.
They came into this game at 57% on 3rd down.
Yeah, 56% is off the charts. That's the best mark by far.
It was 56.9, so Dan went 57.
Dan didn't go.
I don't round up,
he didn't
man.
round up.
I don't round up.
No. The defensive coaches round down, offensive coaches round up.
Yeah.
Dan, just to give you a heads up.
Timeout. San Antonio. Their second charge timeout to half. It will be a 30-second timeout.
What'd you call it?
I called Doc left.
Huh?
I didn't call Doc left?
Doc left. I don't know. He's lined up on the right.
Evan, you're right.
Evan.
Little discussion going on there.
We can pull it out, but let's run circuits right now.
Hey, Logan, you see that? Yeah. Going over top. Yeah. Probably be the Doc left, 22 tight, and bait circles. Hey. Yeah. Doc left, 22 tight.
I don't know about you guys, but for a sports geek like myself, that access inside, hearing those conversations, love it.
That's
Absolutely
really great.
It.
I think it's great to hear both quarterbacks converse there. You know, Marquise had Logan's back. You called it right. He lined up wrong.
Looking for their first 3rd down conversion of the game. Oh, he is absolutely crunched. Ball on the ground. My goodness. That looked like Shakir Soto, and he put a lick on Woodside.
Timeout. San Diego, their 3rd and final timeout of half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
He comes out of nowhere.
139. 139 on the game clock.
Oh, beats the double team, coach. Center comes over sets for the D tackle, lets him inside. Your quarterback's trying to step up. I don't know what else you want from him.
Well, Trey Moore was coming around the edge, so he had to step up. And again, this Fleet defense is playing mean, playing mean.
Playing fierce.
They're one of the smallest teams on defense in the league, but coach was telling us how to use that speed and leverage.
Well, they use quickness, and this defensive line, they're some of the fastest guys getting off the ball and getting into the offensive line.
We talked about it early in the game. Coach Marmee and his defense is settling in and doing what they do, playing fast. And we see it here tonight in the first half.
Brooks back to return once again. 3rd punt of the game for Joseph Zima. Brooks calls for the fair catch and wisely lets that bounce into the end zone.
Boy, really nice job by him there.
Yeah.
Really decoyed the coverage team into stopping, and then the ball rolled into the end zone.
An unlucky bounce for Zima, but that was a 69-yard kick that bounced into the end zone. Don't forget, AAF.com has all your in-game box scores, stats, and leaders, anything and everything for all of your AAF needs.
They have starter coats on there?
You want to get one?
Coach, I'm trying to get one for every team. I'm telling you.
This is one of 2 games that's a rematch already here in week 3. You can see that Salt Lake upset Arizona, handing the Hotshots their first loss of the season. Salt Lake going to be taking on Orlando, the undefeated Apollos, in Salt Lake City next week.
Set. Blue 80. Way up.
3 wide receivers to the right. Pass complete out to the 25, and going for the first down is Brian Brown.
Girl, rocket.
You see the San Antonio Commander defense is in their dime package with 7 DBs on the field here.
Another complete pass. It's Dantes Ford slipping after an 8-yard gain.
Hot bullets. Going left. Hot bullets.
Philip Nelson directing
Going
traffic.
left. Going bullets.
San Diego out of timeouts here.
Set up.
That's a good drop there. That's a good drop. You don't want to catch that ball inbounds. And then, so let me explain the 2-minute rules here. First is you want to get out of bounds and preserve as much time as possible. Understand if you have timeouts or no timeouts. All right, secondly, it's if you do catch the ball, try to get out of bounds or try to get the first down, one of the two.
You know who doesn't like the drop is Philip Nelson.
Was hot.
Man, he likes the drop.
He was hot.
In the whole scheme of things.
It gives him an opportunity here now to everybody to compose themselves and regroup.
Blue 80. Way up.
43 seconds left. Nelson throwing again over the middle, short again. It's Gardner making a couple of moves just shy of the first down after a 9-yard gain. Clock still moving.
And that's where he's going to excel in those check down rolls, Coach, where you get
Rocket. Score, Rocket, score.
We're going to get an all-go here. It's going to be a vertical play. But again, Coach March is giving him a yard line in his head to tell him, Phil, we need to get to this point for a whack at a field goal.
18 seconds to go here in the first half. Nelson on the move, throws downfield left side over the intended target. Nelson Spruce.
Okay. All right, it's 2nd and 10 now. We got 13 seconds left. We got an opportunity for one completion and try to get up and spike it and bring on the field goal team. So that's what they got to look here for. He can put this ball in the field of play or to the boundary, but they want to get this in field goal range. So look for some kind of high-low concept where they have a chance to pull a defender out and hit the ball in behind.
Hey, you good?
So the ball on the 48-yard line probably need to get to around the 30 to feel comfortable.
About the 35. About the 35. And they go with the screen.
They have to dump it off again. That was Watson, only picks up 3. And it looks like time's going to run out here in the first half. San Diego, however, going to be content, I would imagine, to go into the locker room with a 22-8 lead after only putting up 6 points in week 1 against San Antonio. Coming up, Alliance All Access Halftime with Alex Flanagan, Hall of Famer Rod Woodson, Super Bowl champs Sean O'Hara, and Cynthia Freeland.
Freedom doesn't even begin to describe it. Making your own way. What if you could turn that passion into a career? At Marine Mechanics Institute in Orlando, Florida, you can start that journey. Hands-on. Testing your knowledge and gaining the skills you need. Because nothing should slow you down. Get there, faster, smarter.
AJ Tarpley helping the San Diego Fleet set the tone with a pick six that he takes to the house. San Diego ahead of San Antonio 22-8. It is halftime. We are coming to you live from the Alliance All Access Studios. I'm Alex Flanagan alongside Cynthia Freeland, Rod Woodson, and Sean O'Hara. And A.J. Tarpley is a name, Cynthia, that a lot of football fans probably recognize.
Well, Bills Mafia certainly recognizes him, as well as any Stanford Cardinals. He was a linebacker there. He stepped away to actually be an investment banker, which I know pretty well because I share that background.
Rod,
pretty good return on investment right
yes,
there.
Yes,
good ROI on that.
Knows money and he knows football. Rod, another player, Nelson Spruce, maybe not so well known, but certainly making a name for himself in the first half of this game.
Yeah, a Colorado product who's been improving every single week for the Fleet offense. And Mike Martz's offense, anytime you can find a slot receiver, he can do a lot of good things. This guy is just catching the football. 6 targets a day, 4 receptions, 2 TDs for this offense, and he's a short-handed receiver, and when you're a quarterback and you know a guy's going to catch it, you're going to throw him the ball over and over and over to give him opportunities. He trusts him, he believes he's going to make plays, and he's making plays tonight for him.
How about we go full Nelson here?
Yes.
You're going Nelson Spruce. I'm going to go Philip Nelson, the quarterback. When you look at what he's done for this offense, they look dramatically different than when they did week 1 against San Antonio. Keep in mind, they
remember
took
that Mike
3
Bercovici in that game as well.
Bercovici got hit in that first game, but aside from that first play of the game, the first interception, he's been phenomenal, throwing 2 touchdowns. This offense has done better protecting him as well. Keep in mind, they gave up 6 sacks against this defense in week 1, so protecting him first and foremost, and he's doing a good job of spreading the football around.
Still have a half to go before week 3 is in the books, but let's take you back to yesterday. Some great action on Saturday, or I'm sorry, earlier today, then we'll go to Saturday. Earlier today in the game between the Birmingham Iron and the Atlanta Legends. Yes, Mike Vick putting out the ceremonial first snap, but really one of the storylines of this game is you guys' defense by the Birmingham Iron.
They have the #1 overall defense in the Alliance. These guys are balling. They're taking the ball away consistently throughout all these games. That's the reason they're winning.
Red zone touchdown percentage, 11. That's what they're allowing, 11%.
Oh, they're balling.
Tim Lewis happy, and the second storyline really, and a really nice one coming out of this game. Trent Richardson, you guys, the 3rd overall pick in the 2012 draft. He's played in Cleveland, Indy, Oakland, Baltimore, and Canada. Scored all of the touchdowns for the Iron this season. And take a look at him.
When you see all these highlights, you see power, and that's what Trent Richardson brings to an offense. I tell you what, very rarely does the first guy bring him down on any play. He can run through him, he can make a miss, but certainly down here in the red zone, he's been huge for them. I think it's his 5th touchdown on the season.
Birmingham wins that one 28-12. It's actually his 6th touchdown of the season.
He scored another one during the highlight.
While you weren't looking, scored all of the Irons touchdowns, as we mentioned. So it's been a great day for Trent Richardson and fun to see him have that. Rod, I mean, really, when you see a guy like that has worked so hard, grit on the field and some grit off the field, right?
I mean, he's been working his whole life. It didn't work out the first time around in the National Football League, but he's shown that he still can play. And, and like you said, Sean, the first tackler is not bringing this guy down. He is a powerful player. He's a powerful runner. He's taking advantage of this opportunity, and hopefully somebody give him another opportunity.
All right, so that's Sunday. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk a little bit about Saturday and show you some of the plays, if you missed them, that you need to know about for the water cooler on Monday. The stanky leg, Steve Spurrier, avoiding the action. We'll be right back.
Come on, Carol! Hawaii, nice!
Yeah, I'm excited. Finally earned enough rewards points.
So jealous.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that shave ice.
What's shave ice?
It's like a Hawaiian snow cone.
Why not just say snow cone?
I don't know, they call it shave ice.
You fly to Hawaii for this.
I don't go there for the ice.
You saved up your reward points for ice. That's a lot of ice.
Okay.
Go Rewards credit card from Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
For the first time in the history of pro sports, here's the app as fast as every player in the game. The Alliance app delivers revolutionary technology, real-time play-by-play gaming, instant interactivity, truly a game changer. Get the Alliance app today. Live predictive gaming at full speed. Call the plays. Unprecedented and at your fingertips. Available on the App Store and Google Play.
So full day of football for you on Saturday, and here are some of the highlights if you missed them. Rashard Ross, you saw doing the stanky leg. Josh Woodward back for the Stallions. Memphis's Gerard Shepard keeping them close in the game, but it wasn't good enough. And Ernest Johnson and the Apollos making Steve Spurrier run
for it. That's not Coach Danson. That's him trying to get out of the way.
The old ball coach, you guys, is certainly having fun out there, and we're having fun watching him. And Cynthia, let's talk about some of the trends that we're seeing evolve so far. I know the onside conversion is something that's kind of interesting, and we've seen it now a couple times.
Twice. We didn't see it for the first 2 weeks, and now we've seen it twice. It worked one time, and it didn't work the other time. This is another example of where deep passing is a huge advantage in this league. The one time it didn't work was the hot shots, a short pass. The one time it did work was on a deep pass. We saw the legend attempt it. Just a refresher, this is in lieu of an onside kick. You can have a 4th down for 12 yards, and you have it at the 28-yard line. You get a chance to convert in lieu of that onside kick. So there's that deep pass right there. Just another strategic element for this league that makes this a little bit different from the NFL.
And there are some circumstances that you have to meet in order to go for this onside conversion. But it is an interesting thing, and it certainly is interesting when it comes to really coaching and strategizing, isn't it?
Yeah, because if you don't get it, if you go early on, the ball is on your own 28-yard line. So if you don't get it, you give them a short field. So it better be, under dire circumstances, and you better, not leave too much time for the other team to get too many scores.
Yeah, I love that coaches have to make a decision on when to go for it and when not to go for it. It is strategic. Coaches got to make really good decisions. I love seeing more opportunities like that, and you like seeing teams going on the field and being aggressive with it.
And I like that even if you get it. All right, it's 4th and 12. Now you still have 55 more yards, 60 more yards to go to get the score, so it's not just one play.
The thing that's really interesting is the strategic use of timeouts. So we've actually seen a lot of timeouts left on the board, 19 so far this season. So I think what we'll see is as coaches adapt, they'll use those timeouts in a different time of the game so that they leave themselves the opportunity to make use of that conversion later in the game.
Let's go back to talking a little bit about this game as we get ready to send it back out for the second half. But the Fleet and the Commanders, Mike Martz, I think we're a little unused to seeing him have such a balanced offense, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you like that, but you have to like their defense too, because their defense is playing really good football. I mean, 2 interceptions. They held Woodside to 116 passing yards. They only gave them 29 net rushing yards in the first half. That's one of the main reasons this offense can score like this.
A different team than we saw really in the Week 1 matchup against San Antonio. I mean, it feels like San Diego is really kind of getting a little bit of speed and momentum as they grow with their quarterback. As you said, they find different receivers, finding different players that Mike Martz can attack.
Martz is a little known for being a kind of complicated offense, so maybe this is just taking the time to get to know it and becoming used to it so that it can really start to work.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Jaquan Gardner kind of get involved. He's only got 2.5 yards per carry. He leads the league coming into this game. Give credit to San Antonio's defense, but it's really been a complete role reversal defensively. San Diego's played much better, which is what didn't happen in Week 1.
I feel like we're starting to see some nice parity in the league as well. I think we've got we come into these games, we make these predictions, and then we kind of, it plays out nicely for us, and the competition kind of shifting through 3 weeks here. Well, we'll see how this game finishes out. Nelson Spruce lighten it up with Philip Nelson for the San Diego Fleet. We're going to send you back out to the second half as San Diego leads San Antonio 22-8.
March 10th, free agency frenzy begins.
This could be a key addition.
And NFL Network is there.
Wherever I go, I want to compete for championships.
With live breaking coverage of all the latest news and rumors from around the league. Which teams will make the biggest splash and who will cash in.
It's about winning football games.
Touchdown! Woo! Free agency frenzy starts Sunday, March 10th, only on NFL Network.
When you're born, you're put in a box. It's familiar, safe, but things change, and so does the box. What was once comfortable feels colorless. But you are not bound by the box, because imagination isn't linear. It is limitless. When you arrive in this world, you're put in a box, and when you leave, you're put in another. So the question is, what are you going to do in between? TimberTech Decking. Go against the grain at TimberTech.com.
If meat could help them create a marvel of the world by hand, it can definitely help you build a bookcase. Power through. With help from the original protein. 100% beef Jack Link's jerky.
Welcome back, everybody. The Alliance wrapping up week 3, and so far the first half has been very kind to the San Diego Fleet. The first half stats are brought to you by Air National Guard, up 22-8 so far, due in part to the best game of the season from Philip Nelson. Philip Nelson, 15 of 20 for 174 yards. The Fleet really doing everything well on the offensive side of the ball, Coach.
Yeah, Dan. The Fleet has done a great job. Phil Nelson has done an excellent job throwing the football, very accurate, and Nelson Spruce coming in today and doing a nice job for him as well.
On the ground, Jaquan Gardner was the guy that we talked about coming into the game, the little running back from Humboldt State. Has had a quiet first half. It's the big guy, Terrell Watson.
Well, I think each defense presents different opportunities for running backs to run, and now Terrell Watson, the bigger guy, going against a stouter defense, running down and dragging linebackers, Coach, and that's what's helping out Philip Nelson. Now, I don't think Gardner's going to get the same opportunities in the second half because Terrell Watson's run so well, so they're going to lean on him here in the third and fourth quarter.
Look at big old Terrell Watson out of Azusa Pacific. Spent some time with the Bengals. Coach Lewis knows him well. One of the best things about the Alliance is that we have mics on the players and coaches. Let's listen to some of the best sounds of the first half.
Bingo, set!
Play it! Let's go! Let's go!
That sounded a little like Tom Brady, the whole "let's go" thing there.
I think everyone says "let's go." Tom is just famous, and people just want to give it to him.
Well, you know what? I think that's fair. With all those Super Bowl rings, we can give it to him.
Bingo, shot!
All right, so some work to do for San Antonio here, and that's going to go in the books as a 3-yard gain for the Commanders. Trey Williams out of Texas A&M, been on the active roster with the Cowboys, the Patriots, and the Colts. As we look at the leaders so far in this game, numbers for Woodside not as good as he would have hoped. Came into the game with 3 picks, 2 in the first half. That Fleet defense really managed to shut down the Commanders' running game.
32 sing, 32 sing.
Yeah, really going to see what the Commanders came out with their offensive plan this second half. It's going to be important and critical.
Here we go. Yeah. Bingo, shot!
Complete 3 yards shy of the first down. DeMarcus Ayers, who had that great game last week, Ryan Muller on the tackle.
Well, I think the one thing about this Fleet defense is that they're limiting yards after the catch. It's not like the Commanders are being able to catch the ball and take off and run like we've seen before. This Fleet defense, if you catch the ball, you're getting tackled on that spot, and they're limiting the big plays after.
They really are doing a great job of staying square on their man. A nice job contesting the plays.
Bingo, set!
3rd and 1, keeping it on the ground. Turning the corner is Trey Williams, out past the 50, down to the 35-yard line before he's dragged out of bounds. A gain of 37 for Williams.
Coach, when you're talking about opportunity here, Trey Williams, everything's all bottled up in here. He's going to use it and bounce outside. Use that speed. You have Tarpley who identifies it but doesn't, really feel like he can shoot the gap and get there.
I love how he finishes the play, Maurice, here. Puts his shoulders down and runs through. He doesn't just run out of bounds.
You got to get as many yards as possible, Coach.
They have a stable of very good backs on this San Antonio roster. Farrow, Aaron Green, David Cobb, and Trey Williams getting his first action of the season tonight. This time it's Farrow putting his head down and picking up 3.
What I love about the AAF is each week you have to earn the right to play. You just don't get the right to play. Well, last week Aaron Green was up. This week Trey Williams practiced a little bit better. Now he's the one up getting those opportunities.
We've heard that from these coaches as well, is that this player's had a great week of practice, so he's going to be up and active. And now they're earning it, and, they're not going to give it back.
No.
Here we go.
Farrow remains in the backfield on 2nd and 7.
Outside left.
Farrow wrapped up right away. Alex Barrett, first man there after a 2-yard gain.
This offensive line's not getting off to the linebacker good enough. Now you're sticking on your double teams. You're being held up. You have to be able to use your fellow mate next to you. Either use the force or the momentum that you have going forward and get to that linebacker so you can create a crease for your running game.
I agree with you, Maurice. They're not getting up to the second level at all. And basically, the runner's having to make a cut in the backfield too often.
Just 1 for 7 on 3rd down so far. Mikhail McKay wide to the left. Their biggest playmaker of the game so far. They go to the right side. That's Trey Williams. Stopped short of the first down. A.J. Tarpley wraps him up. And we have a flag.
Tarpley's the guy, again, limiting the run after catch. That's why it's important, because if they catch the ball before the first down, you tackle them, it's done.
Fred, you good?
He shows great speed working from inside, getting to the outside, and making that tackle on the outside flank there.
He went to Stanford, Coach. He understands angles. I think that's the key.
He's working on Wall Street before he came back to play for the Alliance.
Whew.
Didn't think he would miss the game after retiring at a young age, and certainly Larry Marmee is happy to have him back.
Saying he's a smart linebacker as well. I like that.
Stanford and Wall Street, Coach. I only wish my son could do that.
You and me both, MJD. You and me both. See what we have going on here. It's Fred Luina being helped off the field.
On us, for sure. Punch us.
Oregon State grad, 32 starts in Corvallis.
There are 2 fouls during the play, both against the offense. Pass interference, offense. That penalty is declined. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 72 of the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. It'll be 4th down.
Well, that's a huge play on the Commanders' offense there. You know, even if they make them take the OPI penalty, because they look like they probably had some kind of offensive pick going on to create the space, but they would still have a chance to convert the 3rd down. Now they're being pushed back, and it's going to be 4th and 12.
5th penalty of the ball game for San Antonio. Just these kind of things drive coaches crazy.
It's going to be a 4th down, I think, as it's after the play.
Yeah, I think there's a little miscommunication there.
It's a dead ball penalty.
Yeah, the Commanders thought it was 3rd down still.
That was stupid.
You can hear Woodside expressing his disgust. I'm sure he's not the only one who.
Well, so much of football games is don't beat yourself, you know. Let's play within the rules. Let's play smart, and let's give us an opportunity.
Zima punting from his own 48-yard line. Fair catch called for at the 13-yard line by Brooks. A 29-yard punt for Zima. Rich Eisen running the 40 to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and so can you. Share your 40-yard dash video on social media with hashtags RunRichRun and St. Jude. For more information, go to NFL.com/RunRich1. And we had somebody running it for us, our CEO and co-founder, Charlie Ebersol. Look at those wheels when he's wearing the Jordans. Tongue out.
Thank you very much. And Rich, you run a really, really incredible operation. Run, Rich, run. It was worth all 40 painful yards. Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Now, I'm very curious to find out what that time was, because my guess is Charlie's a little younger than our good friend Rich. I think he probably had him there. He looked pretty good.
I was impressed in pool muscle.
I was going to say, Coach, you got to be careful. You haven't worked out and you haven't been running.
He looked good.
You know, Rich is training for that thing, too, Coach. You may want to sign him. You may want to sign him. Off the edge rush.
Off the edge rusher.
Lady! What up?
Back to throw again is Nelson. Trying to make an adjustment on the ball was Marcus Baugh. Not able to hold on.
Now, I'm going to say this, and I don't want you to get too crazy, but I think he's trying to throw a back shoulder on the corner route, Coach. And that, to me, is the next level of developing your quarterback, is throwing your guys open and not just throwing to a spot.
No question, Maurice. He did try to throw the receiver open there and just came up a little short. Receiver couldn't get turned back and make a play.
Look at the offensive numbers for the Fleet. This, by far, the best game for Philip Nelson this season. 174 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half. Nelson going to throw again, feeling the pressure, decides to tuck it and run, and this is what Coach Martz likes so much about his young quarterback. He doesn't make the big mistake. Usually he says he makes the right decision.
Well, you can win with that, Dan, and that's the thing. As long as you don't beat us, we can win because we trust that our defense is going to do a great job. We have enough players around you to make explosive plays if you just get them the ball in space.
What I liked about it is when you saw him tuck the football away and then protect the football when he felt the people around him in the pocket.
Remember, Philip Nelson did not start the season. It was Mike Bercovici. Nelson came on in relief in that opener. So he's basically played a total of 2 whole professional games. Throwing again, hangs in there in the pocket, finds Escobar for the first down.
And that's what your tight end is supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to catch those tough passes in traffic with guys around you, with your hands, being strong and protecting the ball.
Yes, Coach Mike Martz had the opportunity to coach Philip Nelson in the NFLPA All-Star game, and he really came away from that feeling very, very high on him and wanted to add him to his San Diego Fleet team.
Look there at Mike Bercovici from Arizona State and the third-string quarterback, Alex Ross.
Son! Blue 80! Way up!
Gets the snap off with 1 second to go on the play clock, and it does not look like he's going to get out of this strong. Deion Barnes and Miley were a couple of the guys there. There's a look at Bercovici again as we look back at week 1 in this game, and just a huge hit laid on Bercovici by Sean Washington, who's inactive today. That thing went crazy, viral. Helmet pops off. Here's one of the things that nobody was talking about. Bercovici doesn't buckle his chin strap all the way off, so his helmet flies off 4 or 5 times a game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a play where you had miscommunication in the quarterback that just couldn't feel the pressure coming.
Son! Blue 80! Way up!
Again.
I don't think the quarterback will make that mistake ever again.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's Terry Poole, former 4th-round draft pick of the Seahawks in 2015. I don't think we can say this enough. Philip Nelson thought he was going to be the 3rd-string quarterback for this team, and to perform the way he has today, incredibly impressive.
Well, that's what this league is all about. It's opportunity. You have to earn opportunity in practice. You earn opportunity when guys go down about how you play. And then when you get that chance, you make the most of it.
Son! Blue 80! Way up!
Gardner on the ground, has some room, breaks a tackle. Gardner trying to go the distance at the 30, at the 20. Touchdown, Jaquan Gardner. 83-yard score.
Coach, I told you lightning in a bottle. Lightning. I was waiting. We've been talking him up.
Whoever you hype, the other guy seems to have a great day.
It doesn't matter, Coach. It doesn't matter. You're going to make me go. I talked to his college quarterback, his college coach, who said it's his work ethic. And so we're just going to run a nice delayed draw here, and he's going to pick his way through. Great job by the offensive line. Good job picking the hole, and then it just splits like the Red Sea. And now we're off to the races, and you get to show that 100-meter dash. But I don't know what he ran the 100-meter dash. But I tell you what, when I talked to his college quarterback, he said we had an opportunity to put him in the game in the second half, and he rushed over 150, and we could never get the ball back from him again.
He was fast enough right there, and that's all that counts. They hurt the Stallions last week with this lead draw.
The longest play in the Alliance this season, an 83-yard run from Jaquan Gardner. Watson in the backfield this time. Nelson going to the end zone. Not able to hold on. Dantes Ford had 2 hands on it. They have to settle for 6. A 20-point lead for San Diego, thanks to this guy, little Jaquan Gardner. Welcome back. A look from our lovely Skycam. Thank you to Wheels Up for bringing you the Skycam tonight. Jaquan Gardner, who came into week 3 tied for the rushing lead in the Alliance, now creeping up on another 100-yard game after an 83-yard touchdown scamper, 97 yards so far, and you can see there the longest play in the Alliance this year. Woodside has a man. That's McKay. Stretches for a couple of extra yards. Goes out of bounds after a pickup of 22.
You know, it's really critical here that San Antonio doesn't panic. That Logan does a great job managing the football. Got a lot of time in this football game left, over 22 minutes. So we can only score one touchdown at a time. That's all we got to worry about.
Well, I think that's the one thing you say as a coach is you go in like, look, calm down. Let's just get a positive play on first down and let's get going and get back in our rhythm.
59.
And we got to think about it a little differently. We got to think about it in multiples of 8.
Takes a handoff to Trey Williams, eludes the rush, goes down at the 50, picks up 3 flags flying everywhere. This is potentially a late hit from San Diego because it looked like Woodside was well into a slide. Kind of an awkward slide. Think you felt that one?
Yeah, Logan's taking a little bit of a beating here.
Well, that's
last couple
tough, man.
Series.
What do you ask the linebacker do? You're a defensive coach. What do you ask your linebacker do if he's coming in?
I always think it's hard when he slides late like that. It's the guy from behind that hits him, I think, really that gets him.
Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
All right, so the penalty on the offensive side of the ball, so that adds more insult to injury, I think.
But the last 2 drives, you know, really been affected by these penalties on offense. They got to clean this up in order for them to get back in the football game.
And Mason Gentry.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that call there, Dan. I mean, the man's just steering him around.
42. Here we go. Bingo, shot.
They're going to keep it on the ground on 1st and 20. This is Williams again. Finds some room. Nice run by Williams. Gets 13 yards back.
Trey Williams is running like a man that doesn't want to get this job back.
You know, he's doing a great job here. And again, you know, you can see him dip in, jump out, and then get his shoulder pads turned up the sideline. And that's what you want to see from your running back.
He's running with purpose, Coach. And I think he understands that, hey, this opportunity that I have, I may not get a second chance. Let me make the most of it and run as hard as I can and make as many big plays as possible.
I think he's a little winded, though. I think he tried to check himself out there.
No, you can't do that.
We're good. Bingo, shot.
Keeping it on the ground again on 2nd and 9. Shakir Soto with the tackle after the 2-yard gain. A couple of big plays for Soto so far tonight.
Yeah, that fleet front 4 has done a nice job there tonight. And those big guys inside, both interior tackles, have really come up big in plays.
You know what? And they're not that big, Coach. You're talking about 298, 285, 294, 301.
Yeah.
If you look at that Salt Lake unit, they're 345 and 335.
Could be the best D-line in the league. Soto just 22 years old. One of the youngest players on the team.
Outside right.
Penalty flags flying everywhere.
So can I give you a coaching point here? Whenever you're about to change a play, it's best to come up and say easy, easy. Because if you do any flexion, like what we just saw from
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, they really got to hold their composure, Maurice, is what you're saying. Is the up front group has got to hold its composure.
Well, as soon as you go up screaming, you can't do that because, you know, as offensive linemen and tight end, they're just going off the flexing of your voice. That's why when you hear a guy say, hut up, it's the second hut's a little bit harder. You can't come up saying, switch, 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 all crazy because we're going to move anyways.
Bingo, shot.
3rd and 12. Quick pass not going anywhere. 4th down coming up.
There's our man there, Trey Moore.
What is on his neck, Coach? Is that his shirt getting ripped off his back?
Let's take a look. Swats that ball down. Montre Moore.
I think he's got he's got his shirt came off.
Maybe that was the offensive lineman's shirt. He's been undressing those guys for much of the season. A lot of NFL experience for Montre Moore. 55 games as the ball is put on the ground, and it looks like San Antonio may have recovered.
Okay, the ball's going to switch hands all over the place in this thing right now. Guys are fighting for it.
45-yard punt, muffed, and indeed, this could be the break that San Antonio is waiting for. Down by 20, just over 5 minutes to go in the third. They get a second chance.
Unfortunately, that's been one of the things that we've seen in the Alliance's games is, you know, these punt returners got to do a better job of securing the football. Your number one job is to make the catch.
That's Laquivante Gonzalez, the punt returner there, instead of Ron Brooks.
Instead of Ron Brooks. You're right, Dan.
Well, guys, the punt returner is a lot like boxing. It's all about your footwork. You have to step up and take that extra step. Gonzalez didn't want to take that extra step and try to catch it with his hands out in front of him, and that's how you normally drop those punts.
Talk about field position. From the 11-yard line, Woodside's keeping it. Picks up 4. Woodside clearly not afraid to mix it up with the DBs.
Logan's got to make up his mind and just go there. You know, he started up the field, then he tried to go sideways. Go get what you can get.
Yeah, and listen, everybody wants to run the ball until you see the defender come
run the ball.
Yeah, right. And so it's nice to have that in there, but in this league of development, you don't want that to happen. Your quarterback to get hit like that.
So they can pick up the first down without scoring. Have to get to the 1-yard line. Woodside with all day. Finally decides to throw it. Ball tipped in the end zone. Looked like everybody in that corner of the end zone got a hand on it before it finally hit the ground.
Good development of the play. Great job by the back. Outside, dropped the outside rusher there as he was coming. Trey Moore.
That's a good hit, dog.
Gave Logan an opportunity to get outside.
That's clean. That's all you know.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 91. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
You could hear Woodside saying it was clean. Penalty called on Miles Nash.
Hey.
It was called on Miles Nash, but it looked like it was Tani Tupi.
Yeah.
Again, that's a bang-bang play. There's no way you can tell a guy to stop that.
Again, the Commanders, their own worst enemies here, you know, with these procedure penalties.
I got to be louder.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
That's Mason Gentry again, and you could hear Woodside saying, I have to be louder, I have to be louder. Clearly his O-line not able to hear him.
Well, that's great leadership there, taking the blame for yourself. Is it me? How do I change? There's going to be a lot of that communication and leadership.
Clock to 1:23.
There's going to be a lot of that communication and leadership going back and forth from the quarterback. Every play you're talking to someone or to everyone.
It's like ladder.
You know, it's really important here, Logan, to get this huddle composed, and they got to come away with a touchdown on this series. It gives them an opportunity to go into fourth quarter
the game clock
down by 10.
23. 4 minutes and 23 seconds.
They can get the touchdown and convert to 2-point. Down by 12, I guess, would be.
Resetting the game clock back to 4 minutes and 23 seconds. And they're going to be looking at first down as DeMontre Moore trying to get this San Diego crowd pumped up. They were looking for Mikhail McKay.
We're not covering.
And they're going to be looking at 2nd and goal.
Okay, great job there by the corner, Kelly. Finding the ball and being able to, I love Logan Woodside, though, taking a shot there, but the defensive back finds a way to get his hand in there and knock it out.
Cameron Kelly working at wide receiver, and then March decided to move him back to corner where he played at San Diego State. Here's Farrow inside the 5-yard line.
Farrell had a big touchdown run in the red zone a week ago. You know, we made the first guy miss, boom, put the ball in the end zone. Critical 3rd down here for Logan Woodside. And this Commander offense, they got to put this ball in the end zone here.
Just 1 for 9 on 3rd down conversion so far. You're absolutely right, Coach. This one they need badly.
Yeah. Hey, let's go, let's go. Here we go.
On 3rd down. Woodside going to throw to the corner. Looks like it was low. That's Ward. The officials conferring.
Yeah! Give it to him.
And that they do. Can't wait to see that again.
Moving on the field is a touchdown.
Greg Ward, the former quarterback at Houston, turned receiver. Here it is.
Clean catch, too.
Clean catch. Was he inbounds?
Clean catch, though. Wonder if he's inbounds or not. That's going to be the question. You know, the difference in the Alliance, though, that the team has to, the scoring plays are not automatically reviewed like the National Football League. So the coach has to challenge this if he thinks it wasn't a catch.
Well, if you look at his arm, he has the white paint from the out of bounds on his left arm, so they may find a way to get this one out.
Yeah, Mike Martz is going to challenge this, and it looked to me like he was clearly out of bounds when he made the catch. Did make a clean catch.
San Diego's coach is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch for a touchdown. The previous play is under review.
That is the referee, Trey Blake, and the replay official, Brian Lapinto. Let's listen in.
With you now, they're saying it's speed out of bounds.
Sure. No, yes, what's going to happen is it's going to be an incomplete pass. Okay, so we're going to go.
Incomplete pass?
Yes, we're going to go incomplete pass here. And we'll give you the time on the clock. Time will be 3:29. 3:29 on the clock. And it'll be 4th down.
3:29, and we're going to be 4th down.
Yes, 4th and goal, correct. Okay.
What yard line? What yard line?
After review, it was an incomplete pass. It would be 4th down. Please reset the game clock to 3:29. 3:29.
You know what? Brian Lapinto can work for me any day of the week. That dude's efficient. You see how quickly that happened?
That was great.
That was perfect.
As the coach on the sideline, you want to know why are they making the decision that's being made. And I think it's great that we're allowing the fans to listen in as well.
That was Bam Bam. He saw the play. He didn't need to see 100 different angles. He knew it was an incomplete pass. Well done.
Yeah, this is a tough call here for Coach Riley of whether or not to kick the field goal here or go for it on 4th down.
Still early, Coach. Take the points.
It's early, and they're trying to have some positive impact for this offense.
I'm a little surprised they decide not to go for it as Nick Rose comes in. You can see he's perfect on the season. Rose, of course, signed by the Chargers during the playoffs as he sneaks that one up and through. So he is now 7 for 7 on the year. San Antonio gets their first points in a long time. So they settle for a field goal to San Antonio. Coach, you agree with that decision there instead of going for the touchdown on 4th down?
Well, Dan, that's what we were discussing there during the time out there and the change. We still got a lot of time left, but I think with my quarterback there, I'm going to probably go for it there, Maurice.
Yeah, it was going to be 4th and 4 from the goal line, and your offense had kind of sputtered in and out. So, like you said earlier, Coach, you want to have that positivity going into the next drive. Like, okay, maybe we can get some things going and maybe take a shot and get it.
We got roughly 18 minutes yet. We'll see how it comes out.
Terrell Watson in the backfield once again for San Diego. And it's the give to Watson, picks up 3.
Looking back a week ago, Maurice, this is when Terrell Watson and Jaquan Gardner, this is where they came to life. Right now in the football game, that's when they did their damage last week against Salt Lake.
And the one thing that we haven't talked about is Coach Martz, when he was in St. Louis and he was the head coach, running the ball wasn't his thing. He had all those guys around. He didn't want to do it, but now he's showing a different side of him that, hey, we can run the ball when we have to and when we want to.
Well, when you have 2 guys like Gardner and Watson that can get it done here in the Alliance, it's certainly smart to lean on them with a young quarterback in Philip Nelson. Here's Watson again, takes his time, very patient, out to the 40-yard line, picks up the first.
Yeah, the thing you're saying, though, with Coach Mike is, as a play caller, you want to do what your people can do, and he's done a great job of that here, just like he did in his NFL career.
They are washing this defensive line down. We talked about it early in the second quarter about wearing down the defense, running the ball and leaning on them. Watson is doing that, and you're going to start seeing these big runs break here very soon.
What we're seeing, too, is this San Diego offense really starting to heat up. Just 6 points in week 1. They had 24 points in the final 32 minutes last week. And they're putting up more points again today with 28 on the board so far, keeping it on the ground once again with Watson.
Fox 2 run, Coach. I don't know if are you a West Coast?
I got the West Coast lingo.
Yeah, that's Fox 2 run. It's a protection. You're going to sell the lead draw here in that situation. And Coach Marks, I mean, this team has been executing that since week 1. So the last time they played the Commanders, that was kind of the go-to run play when things got a little hectic. Now they're getting back to it. They're just breaking off run after run with it.
I don't know if you see this, but Phil Nelson is already bleeding the clock with 1:28 in the third quarter, holding them in the huddle.
Set. Lady.
Gardner trying to find some room around the left side. Danny Ezechukwu there after a gain of 3.
The other thing Coach told us yesterday is the fact that he felt like in a 10-game season he had to give them everything.
Well,
he didn't have time to ease into things. He had to give them everything he could and then just work on the execution. And we see that now, like you said, Dan. Now in the 3rd week, this offense is producing points again.
He dumped the entire playbook on them at training camp in San Antonio, and he said the only way to get them where you need to be is to kick them in the butt, and they need it all. 3rd and 3. Toss out to Gardner. Gardner has room. Gardner inside the 40, down to the 35. That's going to be a 16-yard gain before he's shoved out of bounds by Orion Stewart.
And he's hit the century mark. 118 yards right here on 9 attempts. I don't know what else you want. We're just going to do a toss. We're going to block down, pull around, and get on the edge again. Coach, we say it all the time, every week. No edge, no chance.
Well, as a football team, they're eyeballing 200 yards rushing for the day here pretty quickly.
It's the end of the 3rd quarter.
And that's the end of 3, 28-11. San Diego trying to milk the clock as much as they can to hold on to this lead. Can they do it and move into a first-place tie in the West?
I wanted to play football since I was like 3 years old. I always loved the game. I want to do this forever.
If meat could help them cross treacherous waters. You work past 7. Power through. With help from the original protein. 100% beef, Jack Link's.
You're watching the Alliance of American Football right here on NFL Network. An exciting game through 3 quarters here in San Diego. You can see early on, it was San Antonio on top. Then San Diego put their pedal to the metal. Let's bring in our Super Bowl champion offensive lineman, Shaun O'Hara. Now, Shaun, impressions from this one after 3 quarters?
Yeah, Dan, this offense looks totally different with Philip Nelson at the helm. Obviously, he threw the interception on the very first play of the game, but he's been really sharp. A couple of touchdowns. He's found his receiver and Nelson Spruce, so that's been good. But I love the way this offensive line has taken over the game. I'm not sure how Jaquan Edwards got into the booth so quick after that run up there and he's standing next to you, but boy, did he look like a baby Jones-Drew running on that lead draw. I love seeing that. When you can go into that rushing game in the second half and start wearing down defense, that's been pretty phenomenal when you think about San Antonio's defense. #1 rush defense in the league, only giving up 82 yards on the ground coming into this game.
That's a great point. Yeah, Jaquan Gardner certainly looks a whole lot like MJD back in the day. Same playing weight, 205, same height, 5'7". Thank you, Shaun.
I used to have dreads too back in the day.
Made you look a little heavier.
I've heard that before.
It must be. You know, it's a good. See, I was 210. Oh, I did have an 80-yarder, Coach.
I feel you.
But you know what? That 83-yarder was much better than my 80-yarder. I promise you that much.
Let me tell you something, MJD. If Jaquan Gardner can have half the career that you did, he would be a very, very happy man. San Diego going to go through the air. Or not. Just gets rid of it quickly, does Nelson.
But he didn't turn his back and throw it over his shoulder
He did
this
not.
time.
He learned.
Well, Coach, did you see Patrick Mahomes was like, I have to step my game up after seeing that.
That was a great tweet.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, all right, now we're getting a little crazy because I coach youth quarterbacks, and my youth guy tells me, you know what, Coach, I'm trying to throw it behind the back too. I said, no, son. We're looking where we're throwing the ball.
14:53.
Patrick Mahomes tweeting this. That was great. Everybody's watching the AAF. The only football game in town these days. And remember, Nelson said he was trying to throw that out of bounds, got a little turned around on the field, kind of lost where exactly he was located, which is understandable when you have 290-pound defensive linemen chasing you down.
Well, it's the pirouette that got him midterm.
Let's take another look at how that went down. Nelson being chased last week, kind of tosses it up in the air, and the pass is complete. And he said, I had no idea that I completed the pass until I looked up, and obviously he got a good chewing out from Mike Martz. He said, you know how stupid of a play that was? Yes, sir, I did. You going to do it again? No, sir, I won't. On the ground on 2nd and 10. Watson picks up 3.
MJD getting excited there. A little power there. A little power, a little double team, pull, power, kick out. Downhill running.
We call that God's play because if God was a football player, that's what he would want to run. And I'm talking about downhill, imposing your will on the defense, forcing the D-line to be able to take on double teams and an extra guy rolling there to clear out some space.
That's funny. I don't think wide receivers would agree with you calling that God's play.
No, they wouldn't. And here comes number 32 checking back in now here.
Here's Gardner, 116 yards and an 83-yard touchdown so far tonight. 3rd and 7 here for the Fleet. Nelson, Gardner, first down, again down to the 20-yard line. Joel Lanning makes the stop after a 12-yard pickup by Gardner.
Really impressive showing by the Fleet offense. Just their play calling, their selection. Philip Nelson, his efficiency with the football, his timing. Just a great job here.
Well, the one thing about Philip Nelson, Coach, is that he's making quick decisions. He's identifying where the open guy is, and if it's a check down, he's getting it down to him. But I have to question one coach, and that's Kyle Shanahan. With all the injuries they had, how do you not bring back Gardner, who was in your training camp? I'm just trying to figure this out, Coach.
He was there briefly.
The numbers, numbers.
Just a cup of coffee in San Francisco. Watson.
Get down, get down.
A hard-fought 2-yard gain after he is taken down by Stephon Charles, who was just signed this week, the 5-year NFL vet.
That's one of the great things about the AAF is the opportunity, the second opportunity for these guys to prove their worth and their value and earn an opportunity back in a camp once again.
I'm going to be very curious to see how many, because I think there will be a plethora of players who are not only on NFL rosters next year, but who are contributing to NFL teams. Thrown on 2nd and 8. Pass was tipped, trying to find Ben Johnson.
Well, I think you're really going to see, Dan, and Maurice, these guys that are in their early 20s getting these opportunities that maybe didn't get a full look their first time around. You know, you mentioned Stephon Charles now. Stephon Charles has had 49 games in the NFL. You know, his time clock may be ticking, but some of these younger guys will get a second opportunity.
Well, Coach, there's nothing like live reps. And that's the thing you can't get in practice, you can't simulate in practice. And so in this situation, they're getting great opportunities and great reps of better in their craft.
7-play drive that's eaten up almost 6 minutes of clock. Looking at 3rd and 8 here. Gardner. Only 3. They're going to be facing 4th down.
That's the kind of drive you want, though, Coach. It ate up a lot of time.
Yes.
And you're going to end with points. You're going to end with kicking a field goal, and having an opportunity to get back up to a 20-point lead.
I think I told you, Coach Tressel once told me that if every drive ends in a kick,
you're going to be all right.
You're going to be all right.
That doesn't sound very exciting, Coach.
Well, but that means you take care of the football. You're either scoring points and you're kicking a field goal or a PAT, or you may have to punt it once in a while.
The kick is up, and the kick is good from Donnie Hagman. He also is perfect on the season, 7-for-7.
Well, my parents met in Texas. Then they moved to Washington. They had me at Fort Knox. They keep all the gold there. After that, we moved to Georgia for a couple years. Then we spent some time in Korea. Seaweed snack. Ew. And now we live here for good.
Our members call many places home.
Oh, lots of questions.
So we made owning a home easier. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Here at Topgolf, the grass is greener on our side of the fence.
But you guys don't have grass.
True, but we have buckets of beer instead of buckets of balls. You like that? And our high-tech tee-offs let you know exactly how far you hit your 7-iron.
So I can bring my own clubs.
How else are you gonna beat your buddy Dave? Now tuck your shirt in and put your spikes on. I'm kidding. In fact, go nuts. Bet on yourself, talk a big game, score high.
You mean score low?
Score however, because this is Topgolf. This is everyone's game.
Scoring low at Topgolf. We're scoring high here in San Diego. A bird's eye view from the Skycam brought to you tonight by Wheels Up. Well, 11:49 to go here in the game. San Antonio desperately needs something to happen, and they can't have this drive ending in a kick, Coach. They need to get this ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they got to get it. You know, they got to get the touchdown and then the 2-point conversion and get back in this football game.
Trey Williams in the backfield, faked the handoff. Getting pressure off the edge. Ball is down, but he's able to corral it.
That's Alex Barrett again, doing a great job applying pressure off the right side. He also has played well. The thing about this San Diego Fleet defensive football team, they got 2 great edge rushers in Trey Moore and Alex Barrett.
Well, he just ran the hump, Coach. I mean, as a quarterback, your tackle, you got to help your tackle out sometimes. You have such a deep drop, and it's hard to step up when the other guys are getting pressure, but you got to find a way to give your tackle a chance. You just can't set 7-8 yards deep.
Half the sack on the season for Barrett coming in. The handoff here to Williams. He goes for 9.
Trey Williams is explosive, Coach. You saw the way he got up off the ground and got in that guy's face because he didn't like the way he tackled him. But you know what? I understand how he's feeling because right now your team's down. You're trying to give a spark. And it's just the little things that set you off when you're competing at such a high level. And he's been doing a really good job today.
It's a big down here.
Third and 10.
Critical third down here.
59.
From their own
Great
25.
job.
Bingo, shot.
Woodside pressured, and down goes Woodside. Shakir Soto, one of the men there. And it was also Andrew Stelter, who's been very active the last couple of plays, a 3-year academic All-Big Ten selection at Minnesota.
You know, when the Commanders get in these third and long situations, you see the San Diego Fleet defense, they end up in a 5 underneath zone, 2 deep coverage behind it, making Logan Woodside have to hold on to the ball and allow the rush to get there.
Again, another stunt from the D tackles where they're crossing. One guy goes inside, the other guy wraps around, and is giving this offensive line a little bit of trouble.
San Diego coming in with the second best scoring defense in the league. As you could hear Logan Woodside saying that his thumb got a little banged up there. This is Zima with his 6th punt of the game.
You know, if they were able to get any kind of positive play there whatsoever, I think Coach Riley would have been going for it there.
And Ron Brooks back in there after that muff punt from Gonzalez, a 43-yard punt.
In an era of online retail where everything is just a few clicks away, buying a car should be no different. That's why at Carvana, you can buy a car 100% online. We made it easy to browse, view, and buy from over 10,000 cars. You can even trade in your old car, all while binge watching your favorite TV show. Afterwards, we'll deliver your car to you. Or you can pick it up from one of our car vending machines. Either way, your car comes with a 7-day return policy. So grab a seat, relax in your comfy pants, and enjoy the new way to buy a car at Carvana.
31 points on the board for the Fleet. Check this out. First 88 minutes of the season. A minus 18-point differential. Since then, Marvin, they've been on fire. Plus 41. This offense looking really good in every facet. Throwing the ball, running the ball.
And really, a lot of that also was the change in quarterback to Philip Nelson and the opportunity for them to settle in and have some positive plays offensively. The defense continues to do a great job limiting the exposure down the field.
2 more yards for Gardner, now has 121 in the game.
Well, guys, I felt like it clicked last week in the second half against Atlanta. Just offensively and defensively, everything clicked for this team, running the ball, throwing the ball. It was a big third down conversion that Philip Nelson converted, and it kind of got them in the groove, and we're just seeing them carry and ride that momentum.
All smiles on the sideline as they have that 20-point lead. I think what we've seen from Nelson is more efficiency as he gets more comfortable again. This is just his 3rd professional game as he tosses out to Watson, tries to elude the tackler, can't do it. Nick Temple takes him down for a loss of 4.
Really nice scrape inside out by Nick Temple, but the shot earlier showed those San Diego defensive players, Maurice. That's what you want is a 20-point lead if you're playing defense.
Well, here, guys, this isn't the play for Terrell Watson. This is not his cup of tea. This is not where he wants to dine, Coach. You want him downhill, shoulder square. When you're running those power plays and you're pulling guys and you're running counters, that's where he's going to excel. A toss play, I get it. You're trying to be a little creative and show people we'll do other things, but that just doesn't fit his style of ball.
We want T. Watt's shoulders pointed towards the other end zone.
That's right.
3rd and 11, they're going to keep it on the ground again. Nothing going, so they're going to have to punt after the no gain from Gardner.
Tried to run a little trap play there, guys, and it just didn't work out. This defense, again, doing a really good job stopping the run as of late. Linebackers flowing over the top, defensive linemen taking up double teams, allowing linebackers to come downhill and fit in their specific holes. And it's tough. But again, this is all about clock management now, Dan.
Yeah, nice job by Dion Barnes, who plays in the base downs. Arthur Mealy comes in a lot in the 3rd down situations there with that, but great play here by him.
Sam Irwin-Hill back to punt. Fair catch called for at the 22-yard line by Greg Ward after the 39-yard punt. We are back in just a moment. Not sure if it was a performance issue or an injury issue, but Logan Woodside was complaining about his thumb being injured when he came off the field on the previous drive. So Marquise Williams now in at quarterback for San Antonio. 7:20 to go, down by 20. Let's see what Williams can do here. Keeps it himself, picks up the first down and a couple more.
Again, right now, the San Diego Fleet defense will allow some of that to occur, but it makes you have to change your mindset when the quarterback's going to take off and run like that.
I remember playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars and us playing the Denver Broncos when they first drafted Tim Tebow. And he was coming back to Jacksonville. We had to have a Tebow period because you just don't know what's going to happen. And the offense is going to be completely different when he came in. That's what this defense is going to have to do, make those type of adjustments.
What percentage of those fans were rooting for Tim Tebow?
I mean, at the end of the game, none of them.
Good answer, Mo. He's going to keep it and run again. And this time he picks up 8. That's Demarius Travis wrapping him up.
You know, the thing about this, Dan, it's a positive play, but the clock is running. Even on an incompletion, you get a stop clock, okay? And that's the difference. We know with the Alliance, even when it gets inside of 5, an out-of-bounds play doesn't stop the clock until inside of 2, but an incomplete pass does as we're trying to score touchdowns.
2nd and 2. See if Williams attempts what would be his 3rd pass of the game. Played a series earlier, threw twice, and he hands to Farrow, who picks up the first down.
I would love to see this Commanders offense in a 2-minute drill. Just give it to me. Let's see if he can execute it. It's a situation, and when we were talking to Coach Mike Riley, he was talking about they're a run, play-action team, situational football team. This is a great time to work on that 2-minute situation and see if you can get yards and get things going.
Trying to get the quarterback comfortable. I think that's the key element here, is if we can get Marquise comfortable and playing, throwing the football in rhythm, assigning the protections, etc.
Williams back to throw this time, and that pass complete down to the 45. Josh Stewart hauls it in for a gain of 5. Listen, Williams started 33 games at North Carolina. When Mitchell Trubisky was there, kept a first-round draft pick on the bench. He has to be able to throw the ball somewhat. Had a cup of coffee with Green Bay in the NFL, played in the CFL, so he's been around a little bit.
He can throw the ball. I mean, again, but his best asset is his legs and him being able to run. And I think that's going to give teams an issue. And we have to ask that question next week if it's going to be Marquise or Logan.
This is the opportunity for him to prove that he wants to play and be the guy. Great
Fires
throw
that
there.
one in there to Josh Stewart. That was on a rope.
It is. And let's remember, too, guys that come from spread offenses, they're not used to taking it under center. And that's something that you have to learn. I remember when I first started working with the Los Angeles Rams, that was what they had to work with Jared Goff with because he wasn't comfortable getting under center for the first couple weeks.
We got a free play here. There we go. Take a shot. That's it. That's it. I just overthrew it.
He threw that out of the end zone by 5 or 6 yards. You'd like to see him at least give the receiver a chance to make that.
Give it a chance to make a play.
5-yard penalty, replay first down.
But I do think we are in the area of the field now where we got to have some kind of double route, some kind of shot.
Uh-oh.
My favorite thing.
That's your thing, Coach.
Let's strike up the band here now.
Can I give him a play call here?
Yeah, you got it. You're
Fox
up.
2, Dino X shake. Ooh, double post with a shake on the backside. That's your double move right there. That's your touchdown play.
Let's see if they go with your Fox 2 Dino shake. Instead, they keep it on the ground.
It was Fox 2 run.
Fox 2 first down.
That's Fox 2 Trey Williams toting that thing like his job depends on it, Coach. 6 carries, 62 yards. He's going to be a guy that I'm gonna look forward to if I'm a Commander because he's so explosive.
Injured player.
That's Demontre Moore down. Hopefully that's just a cramp as he's grabbing the inside of that right knee. Still a 20-point game with under 4 minutes to go.
For the first time in the history of pro sports, here's the app as fast as every player in the game. The Alliance app delivers revolutionary technology, real-time play-by-play gaming, instant interactivity. Truly a game changer. Get the Alliance app today. Live predictive gaming at full speed. Call the plays. Unprecedented and at your fingertips. Available on the App Store and Google Play.
The Alliance app, #1 in both the Google and Apple stores if you download it right now. All kinds of goodies that you can find inside. And I guarantee you will enjoy them. Very cool app for our first-year football league. Good to see Demontre Moore, one of the best, if not the best defender on this team. Kind of hobbling off the field, but it's under his own power.
Well, we talked about this early on, the dehydration and so forth with these guys. Some of that, and I think he did get twisted up on a little bit here. But, with the timing rules different in this, it's for the coaching part, you got to look to take your timeouts a little earlier than you normally would.
And Trey Williams back in the game on first down. Ball on the 17, and Williams keeps this one, picks up 3, and that clock's still going.
I need to see more urgency from this offense.
Well, we really want to have an opportunity to challenge in this football game.
Well, earlier, the game before this, we saw a 4th and 12 converted. So I want to see a score or something, get that chance to do the 4th and 12 onside play, and see if we can convert it and get back in this game.
First thing they have to do here is try to convert on 2nd and 7 as penalty flags are flying.
Well, Coach Mike Riley talked about this with us, the fact that when you play a team twice in 3 weeks, it's sometimes difficult to repeat that.
Offense, number 67.
Today we see the San Diego Fleet.
2nd down.
Obviously very well prepared, did a great job out here tonight, just like we saw in the earlier games.
Coach, if you ever, you've ever competed against someone, or you have an older brother and you lose, you're motivated to go back and give it your best a second time, and sometimes we get a little complacent when we beat a team handily the first time.
Well, after only putting up 6 points, Mike Martz's troops have come out strong here tonight in San Diego, putting up 31 on the board in front of the home crowd. Williams flushed out of the pocket, wants to throw, not going to be able to as he is taken out of bounds. First man there, Miles Nash.
Coach, he is strong. I don't know what else you call that. You have a big defensive lineman in Nash that's 250 pounds hanging on you, and you're standing up. Then you get hit by a corner or a safety, and you still stand up going out of bounds. That is a strong man out there at quarterback.
That was his all Cam Newton-like there.
You're exactly right.
Makes us really appreciate how large Cam Newton is. Williams just 6'1", 218. Cam going about 6'5",
We're going to end up with a 2-minute warning here. Man.
And the clock winds down. Just absolutely no sense of urgency here, which is somewhat surprising. 2 minutes to go. San Antonio looking at 3rd and 16 when we come back.
First tattoo?
Yeah.
Relax, amigo. It's going to look okay.
Only okay?
No worries, boss. I'm one of the tattoo artists in the city.
You mean one of the best tattoo artists in the city, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Aren't you supposed to draw it first?
Stay in your lane, bro.
Just okay is not okay, especially when it comes to your network. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's biggest test. Now with 5G Evolution, the first step to 5G. More for your thing. That's our thing.
I've been a soldier for 3 years. I've scaled the toughest terrain and faced plenty of my fears as part of my training. And for the past 2 years, I've been a Navy Federal member. So even out here, I can pay securely with mobile pay, linked to my free checking account.
I don't know about this. It's...
What did you say?
She said, I don't know about
No,
that.
I couldn't hear my helmet.
No, your ears are completely exposed.
Yeah, I just...
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Welcome back to San Diego. Tonight's play of the game brought to you by MGM Resorts. It is the longest scoring play in the history of the Alliance. Jaquan Gardner going the distance. 83 yards for the touchdown, outrunning everybody. Looking a lot like MJD back in the day.
That's what I look like to me, Dan.
He was running on that 93 octane. They only serve that in Florida, Coach.
12 carries, 121 yards for Gardner. 3rd and 16 here for San Antonio. They're content to keep it on the ground with Trey Williams, who manages to stay in bounds and come very close to picking up the first. I think that's going to go in the books as a 15-yard gain. He's going to be about a yard shy.
We got a 4th and 1 here. Nice job by that Trey Williams. You said he is taking his spot, and he's doing the most he can.
I tell you what, he may be running on that 93 octane too, Coach, the way he's putting his foot in the ground and looking like a little jitterbug out there, dipping in and out, finding ways to stay in bounds and almost get the first down.
The play clock's down to 14 seconds.
Yeah, obviously Coach Riley just trying to get out of this, have a positive thing, a positive play here, and you know, not risk any more injury and so forth.
And I'm not sure he got
short.
there. They are indeed short. That San Diego defense holds them on 4th down. James in there on the tackle. A former 6th-round draft pick from Minnesota back in 2014.
Coach, you ever been in a situation where the game, it just seems like you're in quicksand, so you just want to end on a positive note. You just want to kind of get a drive going and just get your team back in that confident mode.
Well, I think that's what Coach Riley, I know that's what Coach Riley was doing this drive. But again, when you have the opportunity right there, let's go ahead and call timeout. Give Marquise an opportunity to have a positive play, the offensive football team a positive play, you know, to finish this game up.
They have 3 timeouts now. Yeah, I understand having the momentum going into next week, and maybe Marquise has to be your quarterback, so you want him to have a positive feel, but I would think that there would be a little more sense of urgency as Watson adds to his rushing total with a gain of 4.
Oh, yes. Jaquan Gardner, Dan, Coach, has been lighting it up the last couple weeks for the little guys. 104, 121. You're getting yards on a discount right now.
Yeah, no question about it. You know, what he's done in the last 2 weeks and it's made the huge difference for this San Diego Fleet offense and their whole entire football team.
280 yards on the season for Jaquan Gardner, now the leading rusher in the Alliance. And San Diego gets a big win at home, dropping San Antonio to 1-2. Second time they faced him this season, a lot different than the first time around. Now in a tie for first place in the West. And a very impressive performance from quarterback Philip Nelson, from running back Jaquan Gardner, running back Terrell Watson, and that defense. All smiles for Mike Martz. Some work to be done for San Antonio and Mike Riley. Week 3 is in the books. The Alliance in full effect for Maurice Jones-Drew, Marvin Jones, Marvin Lewis, the rest of our crew. I'm Dan Helling. Thank you so very much for watching us. The Alliance of American Football on NFL Network is in the books for Week 3. We are back for Week 4. See you then.
They can't stop us. They can